For real? Oh, no. Let's go.
Boston.
State of OH. Today. In Berkeley, California. You got it. This one's for three. AJ Hawk, $5,000. USA, USA, USA.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this the most thrilling? Tuesday, May 19, 2026. This sports program begins now. Sports are the greatest. And listen, whenever you hear the words game and 7 put together, you expect electricity, and the NHL delivered last night in a huge way as the Canadiens of Montreal punched their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals to take on the Carolina Hurricanes as they beat the Buffalo Sabres in Buffalo. Now listen, there was certainly a fight back, okay? This is once a 2-0 game, then a fight back, then this thing gets to overtime, and a blip, a little bit of a kind of becomes the game winner, the series seeker. Newhoff becomes the second player in NHL history to have Game 7 goals to win a series in the same playoff run in the history of the NHL. Montreal, the buzzsaw, is going to be on display in the Eastern Conference Finals against a team that everybody forgets they're even playing, because they haven't lost a damn game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Carolina Hurricanes have been chilling, resting up, getting ready for it. They'll take on Montreal, and then tomorrow night in the West, the Colorado Avalanche will host the Vegas Golden Knights. Whenever you think of a Game 7, that is exactly what you think of. Whenever you think of playoff hockey, that is exactly what you think of. And this one is about to be an absolute wagon. We'll talk to PK Subban, Montreal homer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's probably real jacked about what happened.
Super
Can't
wait to catch up with him. He'll be at 12:35. Also, Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes will be here today, 145. Obviously, Olympic gold medalist, American hero, New Jersey Devil, Jack Hughes of the Hughes hockey family. Obviously, American legends will join us at 145. We also obviously have to talk about the double overtime game of the Goliaths yesterday in the Western Conference Finals to kick off what the NBA has been building for seemingly years now. This Wemby guy, all right? Hey, we're learning more and more about him. This guy hangs with monks. This guy hangs with Kevin Garnett. This guy pulls up from the logo in overtime, down 3, casual. First one he put up all night, no big deal. Biggest moment. Let me go ahead and splash this thing. I'm taller than you. I can shoot better than you. And oh yeah, you get me in the paint, I can go to absolute work. Now, what I think gets underestimated about this particular alien here, this human, is, you know, he plays chess in the city, okay? And when he gives answers, he's one with the universe. He's a part of this new generation that seemingly, you know, a lot of Jersey sharing. Everybody kind of gets along. I think this guy's a killer. This guy is a stone-cold killer. The elbow to the jaw should have been a big warning for everybody about who he is. I think we're just kind of learning about this particular player. I think we're excited about the possibilities of this guy and what he could become in the NBA. They're already talking about like, oh, well, here it is. This is we had obviously the runs of the past, and it gets Jordan, and LeBron comes. Shout out to LeBron. And then now Wemby is here. He's about to carry this entire thing. Hasn't won yet. But boy, last night looked like something special from the future. What he is taller, tougher, more dynamic, and also petty. He hates that guy that looks a lot like him, but is the Caucasian version. Chet Holmgren is a guy that I don't think this Wemby guy really enjoys at all. So it seems like you think about who he is as a competitor. All the elites, you know, you think about the elite athletes at the top of the board, all of them, psychos. Competitive spirit psychos. Okay, that's why they lift all them weights. That's they wake up so early. That's why they watch so much film. That's why everything is being finely tuned, because they are psycho-competitive athletes that drive them to be the best. We know who they are. You start going around the sports, you know exactly who we're talking about. It started being classified as the Mamba mentality, and I think Kobe is certainly one of those people. Michael Jordan, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Serena Williams, Tiger Woods. You go at the top, they're psychos. Wayne Gretzky. These psychos, okay? They are committing everything in their being to being great, and they will stop at nothing to win. It feels like people don't think Wemby's like that because he's French.
Sure.
I think that certainly is a part of it.
Big part of it.
I think that is a big part of it. But whenever you start lining up what last night was, Chet Holmgren, that's going back to Team USA taking on Team France. I guess there were some clips coming out of Wemby when he was 17 years old, watching Chet get the trophy and him being bummed out in there. SGA wins the MVP over him. This guy's the best defensive player on the planet, unanimous vote, and also on the offensive side is able to do it. Is he the most valuable person to his team? I think he would be able to argue that. SGA wins back-to-back. SGA also very good. But Wemby having to watch SGA get his trophy, also, Chet Holmgren's on the other side, and they got a banner hanging up there, and they're 6.5-point dogs. It felt like that was the checklist for Wemby to go ahead and have a huge night, and he did. He's exactly, I think, what we hope he is. I think this is a great thing for hoops, but last night in general, double overtime, absolutely bonkers show. Caruso's going crazy. Coaching's at a high level. It was spectacular. 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler's here.
Sir.
This is what Adam Silver would go into a lab and try to create, if he could, especially with all the hype coming in. Hey, these are the two teams. We've been talking about this since before the playoffs even. It's like, is it going to be the Alien or is it going to be this Oklahoma City team that is seemingly in the middle of a dynasty run right now, and they are incredibly deep? Then we finally get to it in game one. Okay, we got game 7 vibes in game 1. We go double overtime, and we got their superstars playing. I mean, that was a wet dream, I assume, for Adam Silver in the NBA. I assume that is how they went to bed feeling last night.
Yeah, really does a matchup really live up to the expectations. And just watching that game, probably, I want to say late fourth quarter, I'm like, this is one of the best basketball games I've ever watched. And it was probably 5-6 more moments that kind of had you jumping up off the couch after that from both sides. OKC, every time you thought, the Spurs would kind of take full control of the game, OKC fought back. Caruso hit a 3. Jay Will hit a 3, who was huge in his return to the Thunder in a little over 30 minutes, but he was dominant. Caruso, he was unbelievable. I know Wemby dominated, but him taking on that task. Now, look, you do have to look at the big Caucasian that's the alien on your team. Like, hey, how about you guard the other alien on their team? So got some questions about that. But
that is fascinating. Caruso was on Wemby a couple times.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay,
quite a bit. Interesting.
Okay, Caruso.
And he did the best he could do. He held it down. Caruso looked like he was worth $250 million to Thunder last night. He was unbelievable. But, yeah, Wemby, he's the guy. And he's the guy who has that GOAT potential. You talk about the Kareems of the past. You talk about Jordan. You talk about LeBron. Like, Wemby has had these expectations. Like you said, he hasn't won it yet. This is the Western Conference Finals. But that performance was unbelievable. He only had, 3 blocks? But it seems like his impact when he's on the court, and they put the stats up when he's on the court, it's unbelievable. I remember SGA late in the fourth quarter, he had like a little bunny, wide open floater. Wemby didn't even jump. I think he was on the other side of the paint. You could just see he wasn't really comfortable just because he's on the court. That's the impact that he has on both sides of the court. It's unbelievable. I can't wait to see the rest of this series and what it has for us.
Again, you talk about high-level basketball. I mean, there was some genius stuff going on. It felt like it was, hey, we got some real cooking going on with both sides. High-level basketball. Cannot wait to catch up with Chris Paul about it. But whenever you think about Wemby going in there and delivering in that way, it's like this guy's going to be must-watch. He understands the moment. It's like very obvious he understands the moment. We saw in the Olympics a little bit whenever he was on France, in France, taking on Team USA. Obviously, you see him as him going in there, understanding the moment, and feeding off of all of it.
Yeah.
That's old-school pettiness that I think you need.
He played 48 minutes, too. So, during the season, he averaged 30 minutes. So that was one of my concerns.
Yeah.
Like, okay, now you get to the playoffs. Now you're going to have games. You're going to have battles. Especially, we all saw this Thunder matchup coming. You're going to have to play 40-plus minutes a night. So for him to grind it out, double overtime, and be dominant throughout, that was unbelievable.
Let's go to one half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys, AP Town. What's up, bud?
Yeah, Wemby was obviously unbelievable, but also Harper and Castle, all 3 of them. The first threesome, I believe, 22 were under to have it. All 3 of them had a double-double. The lights were not too bright for these guys. They are so young, and they didn't give a shit about any of it.
Yeah, talking about how young they are, there it is. I think their average age is like 22 as a whole. So whenever you talk about a young team finding their own and growing into who they want to become, it's happening in front of us. Now, this is where basketball players and teams become legendary, the playoffs. That is why some of these players that don't get a lot of playoff minutes really kind of go into obscurity because you're not really known. The playoffs is its own season. Teams become stories. Legends are made during the playoffs. This is when the big moments happen. And Wemby had all the hype and the folklore going into this. And this team, young, is just going to be able to go ahead and build. All of them showed up. And how young they are just tells us, well, we got electrifying basketball for the next 20 years. Let's go to the talk table at Boss Connor and Ty Schmidt. Con man, Wemby's a dream. And you are quickly, I think you are quickly becoming this guy might actually never lose again, which should be a conversation and all. Is that too much in the moment? Are we overreacting right now, Con man?
I don't know, because when we're talking about the moment, like you mentioned it, Bryce Harper kind of brought it up to us, kind of owning the moment. I don't know if we've ever seen a guy his age own the moment on a basketball court the way he did yesterday. The step in 3 right here was one of the most ridiculous shots I think I've ever seen. And this guy's 22. We're talking about someone who, sure, if he was 5 years into his career, maybe this wasn't his first conference finals. That would be one thing, but it's his first conference finals, his first game in the conference finals, and he does that on, MVP night. You mentioned it. He really is just a freak, and it might be the greatest young core in the history of the NBA. There's a reason the NBA lottery is now set up where you can't have a back-to-back-to-back draft with Wemby to Castle to Harper, because that is what they built. And Devin Vassell's on there. I think he led the team in minutes. He blocked Chet Holmgren at the rim in double overtime. Yeah, late, and that basically sealed the deal. But to be honest, if I'm LeBron James, I'm real worried Wemby's going to win a title this year. I'm real worried.
He's 41.
He is 41. And I'm real worried that Wemby gets a title at 22. And then all of a sudden, this guy only needs 4 more and he's passing me already. Honestly, if I'm LeBron, in my head, I'm going,
why you got to bring LeBron in
I got to get to San Antonio. I'm going to San Antonio now to go play with this guy. Because why wouldn't you? Like, if you're watching this, how could you not want to be a part of it? Like, sure, Debo mentioned he had 3 blocks. Watching SGA in the first half trying to figure out how to play with Wemby on the court was interesting. Like, I forget how many points he had at half, but it wasn't many. It wasn't MVP, SGA. And just seeing what Wemby does as a presence. Like, Caruso had 30 points, and it felt like that's more so why they had him playing defense on Wemby, because what Caruso could do on offense with him on the court. But it was ridiculous to watch. That was the best basketball game.
I'm just kind of piecing this together now, and I don't like that my brain just did that, but huge night for French-speaking people.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a huge.
Yeah. He also speaks English, though, and his English is very good.
No, and obviously people in Montreal speak English somewhere, I assume, there, but last night was a lot of Messi, wasn't it?
No, it was. Hey, but we can give them that.
We don't really get that in sports much, do we?
No.
Since like Zizou and Thierry were playing for the French soccer team,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of like,
2010.
hey, French-speaking people are really crushing sports right now.
No, definitely not. And I mean, it's kind of just the Canadiens, and then when you have a guy like Wemby come out of nowhere, and maybe he was thinking that too. He's like, I didn't see it. We didn't see much of his post-game media stuff, but maybe he did give his entire post-game media scrum. Maybe he did it in French. I may have missed that. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if you saw the graphic that we put together we try to.
Yeah, I mean,
Et le bout les habitants. What's the other half of that thing? What's the other half of it? Et le bout, I think, is and that's a goal or something like that. Say le bout. There's a whole nother thing.
Habitants?
No, les habitants is obviously
the Habs.
Okay, that is. There's another part though. There's another half of this sentence that is
Et le bout des Canadiens.
Okay, you're dancing around it, Bruce. We sent it into the group. Can you grab that, please? The Canadian,
Nick sent it.
The French speaking thing in the group text there. It's a full saying, and I'll tell you what.
pretty good.
Yeah, I would say the French language sounds pretty spectacular whenever it's read. But yeah, the Habitants last night have a huge win. Montreal upside down.
Yep.
That city's going to be on display, I think, here now, even more so than anything. And I know this happens in college a lot, which leads us to the next story we're going to chat about. Like, sports puts cities and towns on a map, okay? It's broadcasting. It is commercial for your city. It is how a lot of people will think about what your city is forever through the lens of sports. Like, that is kind of what happens. What they're about to do, I think, over these Eastern Conference Finals, and hell, Carolina Hurricanes have literally been unbeatable. I think with the Montreal people, the Les Habitants, or whatever the hell, I think they are going to showcase how good of a sports town they are. And I think it is going to be a great, I mean, they are going bananas.
Yeah. That city doesn't sleep. I've been to Montreal 2 times. It is insane.
That was not where the game was.
No.
That's just insane. A watch along. That's a watch along that's happening. So, like, the thing I'm jacked up about here is that I think a lot of people are going to get welcomed and kind of introduced to hockey culture, but like their hockey culture is bananas. And there's a lot of other Canadian teams, I think, that are not going to be excited how much their barn's getting celebrated because they feel like their barn is probably a little bit more electrifying. But I think we got some great environments, great atmospheres going forward. Oklahoma City last night was awesome.
Yeah.
San Antonio is going to be outrageous.
Yep.
Madison Square Garden, we already know enough about. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's go ahead and go crazy here for the Cavs, too. I think Cleveland's going to show up in a big way.
We'll see.
Is Dan Gilbert busing people to MSG?
See, I love that too. I like it whenever an owner is busing, 25 buses up to that
25
game?
buses. That's a great move by him.
Yeah, that's like college, high school. Mm-hmm. I love that. I enjoy anytime that happens.
It's culture.
How are they able to get that many?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That's a good question, and he got good seats. Like, they weren't in the nosebleeds. He got good seats for every single one in there.
And they were the only ones in
I don't
there
love
with
it
like
either.
10 minutes left in the game.
Hey, a lot of Montreal fans in Buffalo last night. There was a big pop whenever they scored early. A couple times. That was very loud. I'm like, hold the phone. How about the Whistlegate going on there? Huh?
Interesting.
Yeah, you could say that.
That's Game 7 puck. It feels like there's always going to be some sort of
When you're running the
conundrum.
goalie all night, it kind of happens. You know, they took the goalie out before
Sound,
they scored
please.
to tie it. So.
Out again, Bowen Byram.
Oh.
No free hacks on the goalie.
Do you have any inside info regarding this play, or
No inside info on this particular play, but clear you can hear the whistle.
Yeah.
You know, I was potentially listening to the other game.
Sure.
Because Tarico's on a microphone over here. Not that I don't love McDonough. I do love McDonough. But with the way the games were kind of timed up, I was trying to bounce back and forth the audio. Good. It felt like March Madness last night.
Yeah, a little bit.
It felt like March Madness on the TVs there. So I didn't hear the whistle as clearly, I think, as you can certainly hear. But boy, the Buffalo Sabres fans, the Buffalo people, just another heartbreak in Buffalo. And we want to let them know, hey, hell of a run, though.
yeah, it always is.
Again.
I would
They're
like to
tired
say,
of that. They're tired of that.
What's
They're
that?
tired of that hand clap. They're tired of being told hell of a run. Buffalo fans, whether you're a fan of the Bills, the Sabres, like
They'll pout till the cows come home. Don't worry, they'll be fine.
Oh, come on.
They will. They will. They always do. We should probably look at the numbers that Alex Tuch had since Josh Allen wore his jersey to bait in the drum in Game 2 of the first round. I don't want to pile on. I don't. Okay.
Then why do you do stuff you don't want to do then? Because that's what you're doing right now.
I just would like to look at the numbers. Hembo, if you hear this, do that, please.
You don't want to pile on.
I don't want to pile on.
Of course you don't.
And, you know, Josh Allen's a hell of a football player.
Great football player.
But boy, oh boy, it really took a turn.
Buffalo
at
last
home.
4 playoff eliminations this year. Montreal, Game 7 overtime. Oh, jeez, Louise.
Man.
Game 7.
They're used to it at this point. Though.
No, they can't.
It's kind of just
Plus
the thing,
4
you know?
falls. I mean,
Jeez.
NHL won't change a rule for him either.
Why can't we wear our jerseys?
Okay. All right.
we wanted that rule change too. Those
Yeah.
stupid yellow jerseys.
Well, not only the overtime
Thanks.
rule is what he's talking about, I think. So they could have answered there, Patrick Mahomes, I think.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
They did. They changed it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. He said he doesn't think they're going to do it in the NHL.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think what they're saying is they overturned a whistle, didn't they, in Buffalo, if I was talking about them. Hey, Buffalo fans, chin up. Okay?
Chin up.
Chin up.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to
Maybe
say it
call
to him.
Danhausen
Sounds like
something.
D-Bud does. Danhausen maybe needs
Mr. Butters even told us, hey, the 2 ones keep me up at night.
Yeah, you're right.
We got a whistle us.
Screw the Buffalo Bills.
Keep them up laughing.
Before we move to the NBA with a man who knows a lot more than we do about the NBA, I did get a chance to break some news in the NHL.
Yeah.
What?
Did I put on an insider cap? Potentially. Breaking, according to source, says the Vegas Golden Knights' in-person appeal of the missing media obligations case stemming from Game 6 of the Anaheim Ducks series was heard in New York this morning by NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman. Source says, close to the situation, are quoted as saying, Vegas' appeal was heard in person this morning. The penalties currently stand as originally assessed. $100,000 fine to Torts, second-round pick yanked out of the organization. Bullshit. So Gary Bettman, commissioner, heard the defense, understood the situation, and said, listen, we can't start a precedent here. This can't be the case. Torts probably understood as a man who used to be in the media. I mean, we heard EJ yesterday, 18-year NHL vet, saying, as a player, I want to get home there. You know, I understand. But now in the media, it's like, hey, we're trying to, do a thing. Ty, it feels like you're a little bit upset about the inside breaking news that I had. As soon as I started putting pen to paper, if you will, thumb to phone to put this out, you started shrugging and huffing over
Him
there.
and on.
Yeah, what's going on over there? This is life of the insider, by the way. I don't know if I like you huffing and puffing in my news.
I'm not mad at you, pal. Okay, you didn't make the decision. I'm just wondering. Yeah, I'm not shooting the messenger. I'm just wondering if the
you're huffing and puffing at the messenger.
At the league itself, if they maybe have it out for Torts and the boys. This is bullshit. We already heard that. Listen, they had restrictions. Okay, that bird had to get in the air, otherwise the boys were going to have to stay in Anaheim an extra night. You think Torts is putting up with that? No. So you know what I want Torts to do from here on out? Every single, post-game media scrum, every question. That's a stupid fucking question. Next, and he's going to do it. You think the Torts is above doing that? I don't think so. They have no idea what kind of monster they created. He'll eat that $100K. That's a couple, aged bottles of Bordeaux that he's not going to be able to have this offseason, and we're going to move right along. And fuck that second-round pick. Don't need that either, okay? This is bullshit, though. Pure poppycock. Feels like a witch hunt. Not the kind of mojo you want going in to the Western Conference Finals.
Second rounder?
That's a big pick.
That's a
That's
big
huge.
time, especially for the Vegas Golden Knights. You got a lot of high-end players. You're going to need
Bill
your young
Foley will figure it out. He'll figure
I
it
get
out.
the fine, but second round pick, jeez.
That's
poppycock.
Yeah, pure poppycock. It's bullshit.
This insider game is crazy.
Yeah, careful. That's gonna happen.
It sounds like he's thinking it's going to happen a lot against the Vegas team because he's saying they're out to get him.
No more Pens logo. I don't see it anymore. All I see is a freaking shield, and it has NHL on it.
No.
Listen, if I'm going to become an NHL insider, just know sometimes I'm going to have to break your hearts, boys. Okay? That's just life that I'm going to have to deal with.
As long as you SOB for some of our teams, okay? Because coming out here and just saying,
Are you gonna SOB?
Hey, this is the situation.
I am, as an insider, standing directly on business.
Yep.
I'm going to get the news out. That's what I'm trying to do.
Because I don't want to be looking over there and seeing basically just a betman standing on your shoulders, constantly just telling you, "Let him know, Pat."
What are you talking about? You think Bettman's the source?
I don't want to
Says he's not.
No.
You think he would want to be the source on this one as saying like originally assessed? No, he wouldn't want that. Now, have we maybe infiltrated some other offices around?
Maybe.
Maybe we have.
that insider game.
holding their water.
I'm breaking news.
Might be holding their water.
Whose water did I break?
It might be holding their water.
Okay, you should hear what I got cooking right now. I got some lines in the water.
Okay.
All right.
And it's going to be big.
Good luck.
It's going to be big. I'm working it.
McDavid, the hockey town.
We'll see.
McDavid Pittsburgh would be awesome.
Yeah, they're
Ladies and
moving
gentlemen, let's
to
pivot
Detroit.
away from the NHL. Obviously, we're breaking big news. It's crazy to be in the game already. Look what just happened.
No, I know.
That's
Exactly.
a scary game.
Be
Look
careful.
what Sham's still dealing with.
Yeah.
Sean's got a little fallout.
Yeah.
Did we get to hear Wemby talk after the game? There was no post.
Nope. You had to go to like French local media to find that.
You can't
What's
understand.
going on? I hope everything's all right over here.
Me too.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now from the world of the NBA, a man who played 100 years in the NBA, 22 years in the NBA. Holy shit.
Long time.
18 years, Eric Johnson. 22 years in the NBA. Ladies and gentlemen, absolute stallion, Chris Paul.
Yeah.
How you doing, Chris?
What up, fellas? It's 21, Pat. 21.
But I was always hoping for that next one, though, because that was my favorite Chris Paul year, the next year, because how
Announcing?
good he was going to be.
Are you announcing something?
Yeah, not mine.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're done. I forgot about that. But you know what? There is another Chris Paul coming. Hey, SportsCenter Next put up a little highlight. I guess your kid went crazy this past weekend. Is that accurate? And Swagoo's boy is going to be number one overall. Then, hold on, Rondo's kid, right?
Yeah. He's in eighth grade.
Rondo's kid's in 8th grade. How old is your boy? And at what point did you know that he was going to be phenomenal at basketball? And is it just kind of have to happen with you guys? Like Rondo, I think because he's point guard, basketball IQ going to be crazy. For you, same thing with your kid. How do you kind of judge like forcing him to play versus wanting to play versus, all that type of shit, Chris? That has to be difficult.
Yeah, he's a sophomore. He's sort of just going through his process. I think the coolest thing about being out on the circuit, especially with the EYBL, is getting to see all these different kids, right? All the different kids of guys who I played against. Rondo's son, Pierre, is super duper nice. All these kids, it's a gang of kids that aren't former players, kids or whatnot, but it's cool to get a chance to be there and see their process.
Yeah, you've talked about these tournaments being filthy. This is AAU stuff here. As somebody that didn't grow up in the basketball world, this is what AAU tournaments are, and how many of these are there?
Yeah, so in the EYBL, you have 4 stops. This was Memphis this past weekend, and Kansas City is next weekend. Then we have a Vegas stop, and then you have Peach Jam, which is the biggest basketball, youth basketball tournament there is, right? Augusta is known for the Masters and the Peach Jam.
Peach Jam's in Augusta, Georgia?
In Augusta, Georgia. You should pull up. Kids would love to see you down there, Pat.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of pulling up, they're going to have to see that, too. Is it at 10 feet? I don't know. You tell me.
The elbow might be in just a little bit too far. I don't know where that ball going.
In a hoop. Just wherever. Just if you need to get eyes on my ball, look for the hoop. That's where it's headed to, Chris. Okay, you know what I mean? Speaking of elbow, that shouts to your kid, by the way, and you. I know you put a lot of emphasis into that and a lot of time and effort and your finances into it to hopefully pass the baton to another generation of great hoopers. Let's talk about the next generation. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been debuting CP's Top 3, which has been something that after we talk to him, we get a chance to kind of our takeaway of his big takes. His big take last night, I think one of them was, hey, Wemby stepping in there and shooting that in overtime, down 3, 20, 30 seconds left or whatever in the biggest moment is something that I think you said you would have expected maybe. It's all the other shit that maybe is the thing that he had to work on. Always been a great shooter. I think people forget that. And this is just a moment to showcase that. What's your takeaway of how Wemby performed last night in this moment in particular?
Man, it was just fun to watch, to tell you the truth. And to know him and the situation and the moment. Vic is a great shooter. Last year, he shot a lot of threes, but now you just get a chance to see the evolution of his game. He goes inside out, the way he plays, and that's just trust. First of all, he kicked it ahead to Steph Castle. Steph kicked it back to him, and Vic likes those moments.
Yeah, okay, so when he passes that back, he thinks he's shooting that right there?
Absolutely. He didn't even think about it.
Okay, so everybody on the floor knew that Wemby was pulling that up right there, you think?
Yes. Especially for the Spurs. Everybody knew he was shooting.
Oh, that is awesome. Okay, to have that fortitude, I will say. I think a lot of people in this generation quickly judge, especially somebody when one of their first interviews we hear from him saying, Universe and I, we kind of see things the same way. And he's out there with monks, and I don't like it. Big night for French-speaking folks, I will say. But he's also French, so I think there's a natural thing that kind of comes alongside of that. Hoopers and the way basketball is kind of evolving. I think a lot of people can kind of get lost and not really know that this guy's a certified killer, right? Always been that way, Chris? Is that kind of the thing that separates him as opposed to just being a 7'5", incredibly athletic guy? In between the years, this guy is a monster, right? I think that's what we need to talk about.
Yeah, he works at it. So the things that he's one of those guys that if you tell him he's not that good at something, he's gonna go put the work in on it and get better at it. So if that was his physicality, right? Because obviously you come into the league, everybody talked about how light he was, and people sort of push him here and there. But he's 7'5". He got a lot stronger, right? He used to play with his back to the basket a lot, and he still does. But this play right here that they keep showing was so dope, and all I could think about was Greg Popovich when I first got to San Antonio last year. And Pop would just always be on Vic about facing up first, triple threat, right? And you see how the game has just evolved, and it just comes so easy to him now.
Yeah, so he's a hard worker. Do you think watching SGA get the trophy last night was obviously something that he thought about? Maybe the Chet story was seemingly something that was brewing online, and then they were showing throwback clips in the algo. The algo was showing me a 17-year-old Wemby taking on, I don't know, maybe a 17-year-old Chet Holmgren as well. If these two have been looking each other in the eye since they're kids, it seems like that is actually the case. How much of that do you think fed into what last night was? And I want to let you know, if you get a chance to chat with him, let him know that I think I respect how big of a petty, competitive dog he is. That I knew last night he was going to go absolutely crazy, and I bet on it, and I won a lot of money. And the crown is seemingly starting to come my way.
Yeah.
The crown is seemingly, Ronda Rousey, no problem. I think this is what I'm going to start doing. I'm betting on dogs only, okay? I need to know that they're absolute dogs. That felt like a moment for him to hey, yeah, right. This, a lot of buildup it felt like for Wemby. Obviously, to materialize all that and to execute is one thing, but I think that fed him. Isn't that kind of like his competitive fire or personality trait that I don't think we're all kind of learning about in real time?
Yeah, I think so. It was a cool interview that Vic did earlier in the season, and he was talking about how he shows his emotions. Like, he don't want to carry the burden of having to show his emotions. And I think he does a great job of that. He's hooping, he's having fun, and he's going to tell you. He's sort of going to show you. Anybody who loves this game, because you see some teams, when there's an MVP ceremony, some teams go to the locker room. Some teams are not out there when it happens because they don't want to be a part of it. But Vic, somebody tell you, I saw the video like everybody else. He didn't look or whatnot, but of course he understands the moment, and he's somebody that's always finding little things to push you.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch. He's going to play for what, another 20 years? We looked this up. Okay, we looked this up as people that are kind of outsiders of the NBA world. Feels like all the GOAT conversations that happen, like you played 21 years. We thought you had 22, but just basic ass 21 years.
What? 21 might be up for question too, but that's neither here nor there.
All right, so we'll say how many would you like to, how many meaty years would you like?
I'm at 21, man. We good.
All right, 20 real, 21, ethical. No, I'm not doing that.
15
I'm not getting into that. Yep. But obviously, that is a real thing in basketball. It feels like you have to play a very long time. You have to give a long time to the league. You have to be great for a very long time. Him at 7'5", it's hard to imagine that size of a body being able to. I think Jordan was like 15 years, 2 of them at Washington, 13. He was by far the least. I mean, LeBron, you go through them all, Kareem, they all played forever. Like everybody like kind of plays forever. That's a part of the hooping lore, I think, during the conversation. 7'5", he works on everything. I think that's going to be a marvel if he's able to maintain. Actually, just from what we understand about humans.
I haven't seen it.
Ever. It's like that would be a crazy thing if he was able to last long, which it seems like all the GOATs of basketball are able to do, Chris. That would just be a crazy thing for us to watch.
I'm honestly not worried about Vic lasting, right, playing for a long time in the league, because his preparation, the way he works, the way he trains, all the little details, he's that competitive. Like I told you, like when I got there, whether it's ping pong, whether it's chess, whether it's just shooting games after practice, and he's like a student of the game. Like he watches everything constantly. And it's kind of crazy to see it all come together, because I remember I went to go watch him play before he came to the NBA. And he was 7'5" wing player. And he just keeps learning things throughout the years. And if you watch down the stretch of that game, the lives that Vic caught when Caruso was guarding him, those are plays that he didn't used to do. He was just always on the perimeter. But now he realized that he can score in so many different ways.
So hopefully he only gets better somehow. We're lucky to be a part of this. However long this run is, Mr. Vic Wembanyama. Do you call him Vic? We all call him Wemby. I think we'll stick with Wemby. If we meet him, bonjour Vic, je m'appelle Pat, tu es fantastique. We'll certainly do that. But it is crazy that he's already being talked about as this is the next generation of the NBA. It's a lot of weight. I feel like he's ready for the world of it. But he's playing against a guy who's already a back-to-back MVP. Yeah. It's very abnormal. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Yeah, Chris, and I'm assuming this is one of your 3 as well. But SGA struggled in the first half, struggled down the stretch to really get going like we used to see him get going. Had 12 assists, only 4 turnovers, so I feel like he was pretty efficient there. What type of adjustments do you think SGA will make, going into the next game?
Man, I think one of the things that we talked about too, Pat, was just the coaching. Like both teams are coaching really well. Obviously, Shea struggled or whatnot to score, but they've been here. They battle tested. They won the championship. They lost last year to Denver, I think, game 1. So they'll go watch film and regroup. But Shea's seeing a double team every time he come down the court. You're going to see that every single game. They loading up. They trying to make the other guys make shots, i.e., Caruso having 30 or something like that, but you're going to try to figure it out.
Okay, so this was what we talked about with the Lakers too, right? This J.J. Redick was like being not dramatic. You didn't say dramatic, but like overdoing it maybe or something like that. He was not going to let the game wrecker wreck the game. We have that in football as well. That is just kind of standard operating procedure amongst most winning organizations. Like, hey, we got to try to make them play left-handed. We got to get rid of their best player. SGA is obviously back-to-back MVP because he has been relatively successful against everybody. What was it, like 20 straight years of at least 20 points or whatever? How come it's different with some teams? Is it the Wemby factor that, because they have had success against Oklahoma City all year? And has SGA gotten the same treatment from every team? Like, how do you think and follow up, another one, if you want to explain this situation, are they picking and choosing who's open whenever they bring somebody? Because that kind of happens in football. We got to rob Peter to pay Paul somewhere. So somebody, like, how do you think that all comes together with SGA being able to respond? And what do they do in the next game, you think, to Oklahoma City?
All right, bet you asked about 6 questions right there, Pat.
Hey, empty canvas. Give the fucking answer, Chris. All right, you're the fucking guy.
21 years.
21 years of experience. Go ahead. Okay.
Listen. So in the NBA, we have hot guys and cold guys, right? So hot guys, you actually don't help off of them as much. Cold guys, you full body help. But out here in this game, no disrespect to a lot of these coaches in the league, but a lot of these coaches want to see how the game starts. And then they let the main guy get 20, 25 points. Then they be like, okay, we're gonna get the ball out of his hands, right? Like the elite teams and the really great coaches, as you can see, they be like, no, we're just not even going to let this guy get going. So when Shea comes down the court, if you watch, look at the wall that they're building every single time down. Every single time down, their whole mindset is to not look. They load it up. They load it up. They just trying to make them see a wall. Shea done seen every coverage you could possibly see, but look at where Vic is right there. Look at that. That's hard to play against. But like I said, he's seen it before, and it's up to your teammates to make shots.
Okay, and we had the other guys stat against the Lakers. The other guys on the Thunder went crazy, so obviously they were able to win while Shea was still getting double-teamed or eliminated or whatever. And I think against the Spurs, on Christmas, I think Caruso did not have a great shooting day. And then last night has a phenomenal shooting night, and it's like, hold the phone now. Now, will they continue to leave Caruso open? Because it feels like they do decide, like SGA has to find the open person, right? That is what he's doing. Caruso had a lot of good looks, and I think SGA had to make that decision in real time. Does he know who they're going to let free? How does he know? Just from playing, or is there like an indication that this is how they're going to play the entire game? We in the NFL have a first 15 where coaches are trying to see how they'll line up against different formations that they want to use. Okay, so first 15 want to be successful, but we want to see what the defense is doing against our shit, and then we're going to make adjustments to that after that. It's like a known thing in football. Same thing happening for SGA here whenever he takes on the Spurs at the beginning of the game, or how do you guys figure that all out?
Well, you figure it out because it's usually pretty consistent throughout the season. The guys who shoot it better than others, and there's guys that don't. Right, so probably most games, depending on who's on the court, like if Jared McCain's on the court and Caruso, they're definitely going to leave Caruso open more than Jared McCain. So you're trying to figure that out on the fly as you go, but it's like clockwork for sure. He knows he's going to see all these extra bodies when he get into the paint, and you just got to try to make the right decision. And then you also got to figure out when to be just a little bit more selfish on some plays.
Okay. That's whenever he just decides to take it over. He did a couple times, took it to the rack. And how long he held on to it before letting it touch the backboard, because Wemby is like right behind him. You could just like feel him like, get there. Shea
dunked one last night. He drove the lane to dunk. He'll never dunk. But that's because he knew that Vic was over there. That Vic that one right there. He'll never dunk. But he had to because Vic was right there.
I'm not going to let this ball even come close to getting volleyballed out of here, which he was certainly doing.
Exactly.
The Wemby dunk in between Chet and SGA.
That was awesome.
First of all, shout out to SGA going up. I mean, he's up there. Those are two. Those are two aliens.
Great tweet.
And SGA's right up in there. I mean, that was.
He ain't doing nothing up there.
Crazy.
All right, your last one that we thought had to be obviously mentioned that you were talking about. You already mentioned it, kind of the coaching masterclass. Can you tell me about this a little bit about what we watched? I love the game. It looked like both teams were making adjustments. Both teams were answering and responding. Obviously, the players do their thing. The coaching, though, I think a lot of us maybe just thought it was good, didn't really understand why it was good. Why was last night such a high level of basketball, you think, Chris?
First of all, the way these two teams play, it's just the coaching that gives them the confidence to play free. Like a kid like Dylan Harper, you don't come in as a rookie and make those different type plays if you're not being coached and motivated to just go play free and not worry about making mistakes. Obviously, Mark in OKC has those guys playing like that night in and night out, but playing for San Antonio last year and getting a chance to see the preparation that goes in every single day, right? Like Mike in there with the guys at 8, 9 a.m. before practice, going on all the ball movement and all this stuff like that. It's really dope to see it all come together. I was watching the end of game plays that they were running, the out of bounds play right here. So if you watch Steph Castle, this is the funnest part for me in basketball and all this, to watch the plays and the execution. So Steph Castle screens, and then he comes over here to Devin Vassell, and this is a slip out, right? He's going like he's getting champ, and he slips out. He's wide open, right? But it's also great coaching by OKC because they got Chet on the ball, and it's just timing. Dylan Harper can't see the basket.
So the inbound couldn't see that he was wide ass open, so he threw it short instead of far side. He throws that far side. That's probably tip in, 0.7 seconds. Holy hell, we just ran a design play for this exact moment, executed, won the game.
Yeah, and a lot of games come down to these situations, and some of the best coaches that I played for, at the end of practice, yeah, look at that. You can't see nothing. Dylan Harper is a tall guard, so imagine me when I used to have to do this.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, come on, coach, I don't see nothing.
Do the like.
You got to do a lot of no look, huh? A lot of no look out of you, I assume.
Yeah. You gotta pass it with the grace of God. You just better hope.
All right, let's talk about tonight as we hit the top three. Your thoughts on the East and how this thing's going to go. The Garden has been a marvel. I mean, just an absolute spectacle. New York feels like it's time for New York to maybe go on a full championship run, and the streets are going to be bananas. And then the Cavaliers, holy hell, they just went in there and just punked the Pistons.
Ugh.
Just punked the Motor City crew. Is that what Motor City Sports Crew? Is that what the Miz called you guys up there?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Okay, well, how should we be viewing this one? And obviously, Jalen Brunson and Spida is going to be a phenomenal matchup. Is that what we should be looking for? And Chris, how do you kind of judge how this series goes?
Is OG back?
Yes.
OG's back. This is going to be a good series. I think the game one will be interesting to see who sets the tone. And I tell you what's crazy is I played in the Western Conference my whole career. I never played for an Eastern Conference team. So to now be out and watch the different games and see sort of the pace of the Western Conference. They said that all the time, like when I was in the league, is that it was sort of the Eastern Conference, they just a little bit more grind the game out.
Yeah, you guys are soft out there in the West Coast. Yeah, I understand that.
You call it what you want to. You call it what you want to.
No, I think that's what I didn't know they said that until you just said that right now. But if I was a part of that time when people were talking, I assume what I would have said from Pittsburgh, now in Indiana, West Coast soft. We know that that's the case. Yeah, it's nice weather out there, though. Great guys.
Yeah, whatever.
Great.
I said Western Conference, not the West Coast.
Yeah, but we'll just
lump
everybody in,
together.
And I'm sure.
Gonna put everybody in there together, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's gonna be excited about me doing that.
They understand.
That's on them. Yeah, that's on them. We're from the East. That's kind of that is kind of how we operate. Yeah. You understand that, but you're saying the style of play over there on the East a little bit different, especially with these two teams.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be a little bit slower pace. Jalen has the ball a lot of the times with the Knicks, and obviously Donovan and James. James plays a little bit of a slower game for the most part, so. It's going to be interesting to see how this series starts off and who guards who sets the tone.
All right, we'll be excited for that. We'll catch up with you next time. Your kid beating the hell out of you in basketball right now, yeah?
No chance.
No, I saw him shooting. He's certainly, especially at 10th grade. I mean, he's giving you oh, my God, and you're doing a full, you know what I'm saying? How old are you now?
41.
Oh, damn. He's definitely,
he said he's gonna be able to beat me when I'm 42.
Oh, okay. Still hasn't come yet, huh?
How tall is he?
Clock is ticking.
No, it's not.
How tall is he?
Probably about my height now.
Oh, you're screwed.
Oh, no, it's over. It is over. All right, well, good luck out there. Hey, let Lil Chris know. Go on, lad.
Go on,
lad. Give him buckets. I love the fact that you're never going to let him win either. I mean, it is going to be.
No.
Yeah, no way.
No.
Yeah, you're going to foul the hell out of him if it gets close, and that's.
Damn right. Back him down.
Yeah, absolutely. Face him up, ladies and gentlemen. CP3, face up.
Yeah, Chris.
He's the man. Chris is awesome.
Yeah.
He loves the sport. He loves the sport.
21 years. That's
21 years, and still he's got
drinking adult.
He's got
in
these
the league
youth teams.
Yeah.
He's got these youth teams where he's invested like, I'm going to this tournament here. Obviously, his son's playing, but I think this was happening before as well. I think he's like very much invested in the future. He was the NBA PA president or whatever. I mean, he loves ball.
And these, it's ridiculous, how good these kids are now. Like, watching, when we were coming up 8th graders, you'll see, one or two, oh, wow. Like, you go to these tournaments and just watch them. Or even just going to a pickup and you're like, oh, yeah, it's a 10th grader. He's got a few offers. He's got some D2 offers. Like, these kids are ridiculous. Now, I can imagine what those type of tournaments.
At those games, similar body styles guard similar body styles. Because, for instance, when I go play pickup for a large portion of my most recent life, if I'm playing pickup some reason, I'm like, I'm going to go do some cardio, play basketball. I haven't done this in a long time. I just go. I immediately, as soon as game's about to start, I start regretting it. And then I try to find the laziest looking one on the other team.
Yep.
And I go right up to him and I go, hey, 3-point line to 3-point line here? And yep, okay, cool. They'll be playing 4-on-4. We'll kind of be living our own game here. We'll make shots. A couple of us will make some shots. We kind of got an agreement. I'm trying to find like-body, like-minded individuals.
Yep.
That's been happening, I think, since I've been playing boys
Forever.
park basketball whenever I was growing up in youth. I think it happens when you're playing just one bucket take back. I think you're trying to find, I mean, since the beginning of time, like-bodied people are guarding people. I mean, we have it here, right? This is the first time, really.
Yes.
Yeah. This would be the time that you could say.
People are going to judge Chet for this.
Big time.
People are
Already
judging
are,
Chet
brother.
for this. People are judging him. And Wemby wants it all because when he was 17 years old, he lost to USA in the fucking Worlds.
Yeah.
He fouled out.
Especially if you're not going to take on that assignment, or maybe the coach said, "Hey, you do something else." You got to be productive outside. Like you got to have a 25-10 type game. But to just shit the bed and that's game one. Should be a long series. So
He's gonna be picking up Wemby full court next game. Every possession.
There we go, Chet.
Yeah.
You think
He should. If he's not
potentially.
considering it right now, he absolutely should.
I loved watching Caruso go crazy. He's in some Italian-American Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
Remember he won
As
some
he should
Super
be.
Paisan award?
Yep.
He can get going. People forget he's been in the league a long time.
Yeah.
They talk about those GOATs. I mean, Caruso having a night like that was fun. That was fun to watch. And then it got to the point where he knew, too. He was almost Steph Curry in that shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and it was like if he missed, it was abnormal. Will he continue to stay hot? Will they be able to get a dub over the aliens? We shall see. On the other side of the television last night was an NHL game that went to overtime. That was spectacular in Buffalo.
Yes, it was.
The Blade Gang and the Sabres fans certainly brought it. A lot of Montreal fans, it felt like, in the barn, but nonetheless, the environment was crazy, and the Montreal Canadiens have punched their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals. Joining us now is a man who is quite a homer for Les Habitants.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, PK Subban.
Yeah, PK.
How are you, buddy?
I'm great. After the big win last night, couldn't be better.
Okay, so a lot of people
Couldn't
talk
be
about
better.
non-biases and stuff like that, but for Montreal punching their ticket. Tell me about the pure joy I assume your entire body felt. You were up there for Game 6. It was obviously a spectacular environment. We saw the arena packed out up there in Montreal, and it's a away game, obviously. The game's not being played there. It looks like it is filled as if it was the game's home. Tell me about this and why this is great for hockey in your eyes, PK.
It's amazing for hockey because there's just so much history in Montreal, and we talk about the growth of the game in the United States, and it's exploding. Since the Olympics and Jack Hughes and all of that. But hockey's a religion in Montreal, and when it comes to playoff time, you can multiply it by 1,000. It becomes to this historic level of energy that's unmatched, and to be a part of it, to witness it, I think it's amazing for the world to see what sports means to people in Montreal and what the Canadians mean. But, it's no different than when you see the Yankees or any of these other teams. It's just Montreal, the energy's just a little bit thicker. The pressure is a little bit thicker. And, when you're talking about over 100 years of history in sports and culture and religion and all of that great stuff in Quebec, it's pretty spectacular to see in the playoffs what's going on.
Et c'est le beau bonsoir LA party. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me and Pierre Hood. We like to say that.
Hey, and Pat, you know what? I got to say this too. Buffalo Sabres fans, unbelievable. They definitely deserve it.
Here we go.
They were unbelievable.
Give them the clap.
All playoffs, they showed out. They showed up. It was a long drought for them getting there, but we want to see Buffalo back in the playoffs. That's a hell of a team, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is a wagon of a team that's coming. And Lindy Ruff did a great job. I thought all the players on that team, it's not going to be on anybody's shoulders. They competed. This was just a hell of a series. And it went to a team that got the last shot. And, Alex Newhook, Stanley Cup experience, having a hell of a run right now. Breakout season, really. But for this group, this is a special group in Montreal. Also a special group in Buffalo, though. I got to give them a lot of credit for how they battled this series.
Yeah, it was a fun side. D-Buck didn't like us giving them sorry.
I'm just saying for him, I know that city's just
So
tired of hearing it was
Boo-hoo Buffalo. They'll be
Sports.
fine.
They're not called
I never
Boo-Hoo
heard
Buffalo.
called that.
Is that what
I
people
have
call
seen
them?
Boo-hoo
I have seen
Buffalo.
Boohoo Buffalo as well lately.
You saw the himbo stat.
I'm bullish on Buffalo.
You should be
Okay.
boo-hooish because I believe Kleenex is moving their headquarters up there as well.
No.
That's the word on the street.
With Aloe?
Uh-huh.
Oh, It's a good Kleenex.
It is.
Yeah, great.
I've found now that I shave, I can't blow nose with Kleenex. I use paper towel because the little bristles
You get all
sawed
stuck
off.
in there.
And I walk out and I just got
shit all
Kleenex
over your
all
face.
over my face.
Just go ham.
And with how my energy levels are, immediately, that guy's got cocaine on his face. I just blew my nose with Kleenex. I'm so sorry. I shaved my face. It's the first time I've ever done it. These are things I got to think of. Yeah, so I'm going paper towel. But on that note, you're talking soft. You're talking about Kleenex. You're talking about crying. You're talking about sympathy, which is what we showed to Buffalo because they're such a good fan base. But boy, the sports gods just have not been very kind.
No,
Yeah, they poop on
not, man.
But the sports gods were not that kind to Detroit, and then they sat in that tub of moonshine. Maybe, we're right, didn't they do that? What was it?
The Curse of Bobby Lane.
What was it? It was a moonshine bathtub in
Yeah,
Ford
whiskey.
Field.
Yep. And they made it all the way to the.
Wow.
Yeah, did you know this, PK? So maybe.
No.
What?
No.
Yeah.
Explain that. Explain that.
The
No.
Curse of Bobby
I wanna hear
Lane
about
was around since the 50s. And then we had Peyton Manning and Jeff Daniels in a bathtub of whiskey, and it abolished the curse.
Yeah.
We won a playoff game for the first time in my lifetime.
So on that
Wow.
note, yeah. So Buffalo might be doing this right now in their own way. We know they got a lot of whiskey. We know they got a lot of tables. They brought in those big ass bison.
Yeah.
That might be the curse lifter.
Wow.
The bison have come in and scared them out of there. If they would have had little tiny baby bisons, that curse
Yeah.
only.
We'll see. Typically, the football gods don't love when you fire a coach who wins 12 to 14 games a year. But we'll see.
point.
We'll see.
It's a good point.
All right. Okay, yeah, very valid. Okay.
We'll see.
Let's stay in the East here. Montreal, your team that you are not showing any bias towards at all as you're going shirtless with their fans before one of the games, 6, which is obviously great. I'm sure Sabres fans are really happy to watch that on their television as their team was continuing to build. And like you, I love the Sabres fans and Buffalo fans. Hopefully they have success. I'm also happy for the Caniacs down there in Raleigh. That place is awesome. That place has been electrifying. Their team has been on a break for a year. Like, people forget that they even exist right now with everything going on, not only in the NHL playoffs, but also the NBA playoffs. Feels like they've been a forgotten bunch almost. What are your thoughts on Carolina coming out of this long break, and how's the matchup with Montreal?
Well, talking at the desk yesterday night, Messier, had mentioned about the 11 days off or whatever time that they had been off before they play their first game. And he remembered in one of his playoff runs where they had time off and it proved to pay off dividends in the playoff run. Now, I think it's a really long wait, but it is going to pay off in some ways as the series goes on. But you also run into the issue of potentially starting the series late. You can't mimic 2 Game 7s like Montreal just went through. The other side of it is, okay, well, Montreal, they've just played 2 Game 7s. Is this a tired group? Is this a banged up group? All questions that we're going to see as the series starts. But one thing's for sure. I do believe that playing in 2 Game 7s in the playoffs in the first 2 rounds against the Tampa Bay Lightning and obviously the Buffalo Sabres, which are 2 teams that have been really, really competitive all year, has been great for this group. Caden Gooley, who made the big play on the first, he's just rounding out his game. He missed a lot of time this season. Obviously we're seeing the chemistry now with the depth scoring and Bolduc and different players stepping up. Obviously Newhook is a guy that, people probably didn't think offensively would explode this way in the playoffs, but you still got Demidov. You got Cole Caulfield, who's a 50-goal scorer. This is a group that's galvanized right now by the energy that Montreal and the community and the fan base is providing them right now. They're riding a wave that can't be mimicked by X's and O's or even the players that you can have on your roster. I think it's the energy in which they've created, the culture that they've created in that locker room. This is a tight group that believes in each other. And, they got outplayed last night for the majority of that game. Like, Pat, it was like very similar to Team USA and Team Canada. It was the same thing. And people talk about analytics. I don't want to hear about the analytics. Take that and toss it out the window. The best player on the ice and the most important player is the goaltender. He's on the ice for the most time. Dovish was the best player in this series, and that's all they needed. Just like Team USA. Hellebuck was the best player on the ice. Well, they ended up winning the gold medal. They were outplayed. They were outchanced by Team Canada. Same thing in this game. Montreal was outchanced and outplayed, but they had the best player on the ice, and that was their goaltender. So, listen, we call it hockey, but you could call the sport goaltending, because if you don't have a goaltender, you ain't going anywhere.
Hockey's a better name, but I do appreciate the metaphor and everything that you're saying. I do appreciate that. He was interviewed afterwards about something about 40 games, and he said, I could play another 40 games. Feels like he is in his zone. We've seen this before, obviously, whenever it comes to playoff runs and a goalie going crazy. On that note, Connor has a quick question for you.
Yeah, PK, to that point with Carolina, the hottest goalie in the playoffs, it felt like was Freddie Anderson, but now he's been not on his ass, but he has been playing for about 2 weeks. Is there a way to kind of carry that on for Carolina? Is this kind of like Freddie Anderson's confident, but he's not as hot as he was? Or how does this entire thing work when it comes to him and the the Hurricanes staying hot?
Well, a great example is and not to take us out of the playoffs, but Sidney Crosby goes to the World Championships to play.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it again, we know he's a leader. We know that he's all Team Canada, he's all captain and all of that. But it also has to do with where he's at in his career. He's got to keep playing. And I always think that at this time of the year, when you have those big gaps, the intensity and the attention, look at Montreal couldn't break a puck out of their zone. So if you're sitting off for 11 days, you're stepping into a conference final with a team that's been playing that type of competitive hockey. I think there's got to be an adjustment period. And the team that's better prepared for that, right now, I like Montreal with their youth and their energy. These are all young players. They got a couple veterans, but these guys are young. Right? Demidov's young. Cole Caulfield's young. Suzuki's young. Lane Hudson's young. So, when I look at that group, I think they can ride that wave. For Carolina, it's going to be Slavin defensively. Sebastian Aho now is going to get a little bit more time and space. Remember, this becomes more of a skill series. So look
Jarvis
out for
boys.
Aho. Look out for Seth Jarvis. Yep, those guys I know are going to get some more ice in this series. So I look for those guys to explode. Listen, game one is going to be tough for Montreal to win. It's going to be a very, very difficult game for them to win considering the energy and what they're up against. But I'm just so looking forward to these teams getting after it. I really am.
Okay, me too. Let's go to I like Montreal in game one.
Wow.
Me personally.
You forgot.
Maybe.
Okay, Pat, hold on, Pat.
Maybe.
So
Are Jarvis boys going to be there?
Yeah, who's doing the Manitoba? Are the Manitoba boys coming through? Or?
I hope so. I hope they're going to be there. I'd like to think so. If your buddy's playing in the conference final, you got to show up. But I have a question for you guys, because there's a lot of question marks around whether Montreal should start Dobish for game one or rest them and maybe play another goaltender. Now,
no way.
I understand. No, hold on. Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying no. At this time of the year, if I'm Dobish, if I'm putting myself in his shoes, and Marty St. Louis for a second, right? I'm just playing coach for a second. Like, how can you honestly go to your goaltender and say, hey, dude, you know what? Thanks for the first 2 rounds. We're going to rest you, though. We're going to give this guy the net. Like, I don't know how you can do that. So I think that exactly. They got to ride this wave, and you got to play these guys. They're a young group. This is why I picked them. Remember, they're only halfway there. You need to have young legs to win the Stanley Cup. Just to get there, you got to have the young legs. They got the legs to do it. They got the skill and the talent to do it. They're up against probably the best forechecking team that I've seen in a long time in the National Hockey League. Those young players and their experience is going to be put to the test in this series. That could be the difference, right? That could be the difference.
Yeah, it could be that. It is a game of attrition. Who can last? Actually, it just came out that a couple of people from Anaheim had broken necks. That is the difference of hockey. Drew Livingstone, producing Drew, I guess he's GoAv. Since 2000, teams that come off a Game 7 victory are 7-1 in a series against a team coming off a sweep. That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
I think hockey's a rust situation as opposed to a rest situation, especially playoff hockey. I think you're flying around in these games every other night. I mean, it is like a
adrenaline, man. Adrenaline.
But I'm saying it's like a routine. I think them sweeping 2 straight, it's like long layoff. Now, obviously, they were able to sweep coming off a sweep, so maybe they're able to handle it more than everybody else. But you watch that game last night, it's like, okay, so a team that has just been trying to do that in practice is going to have to show up for that. I think the first one is where I think Carolina maybe gets the skates back.
Yeah.
I might be completely wrong. I might be completely wrong. They haven't lost.
I think you're right, Pat, but there is the one X factor Carolina has is Rod Brindamore. He's the kind of coach that may be able to rally a group of guys who haven't played in 11 days to come out and skate through a wall for 60 minutes.
And for the
ready to go.
Caniacs,
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
they'll do
but-
it for the Caniacs, too. I mean,
But Pat, hold on. Pat, like
doing the Hornets
for me, my concern as someone who obviously wants to see Montreal win this, my concern is Montreal sat back for the whole game. Like they sat back for 3. You cannot do that. Like, they win the game last night in overtime on a broken play, and they find a way to get it done. But to me, I look at Tampa Bay and I look at Buffalo. There were lulls in those series where they just tilted the ice on them. And I just, I go back to when I got called up in the playoffs when Yaroslav Halak went on that crazy run. And that's how I see it. He was playing out of his mind. They're putting his name on stop signs, and we're getting Mike Camilleri who's scoring every time he shoots the puck. And it's a similar thing. And it's like, when I'm watching hockey, I'm like, how does this translate? And they're just finding ways to do it. I don't know if you can sit back and withstand Carolina's forecheck over and over and over again all game. So I got to see what Marty St. Louis is going to change and what adjustments he's going to make to get them out of their zone. They got to come out of their zone more connected and playing with the puck. They're just not going to last in this series if they don't.
Excited to see the Carolina Hurricanes back on the ice. And obviously in the West, that puck drops tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't wait to see the Avalanche, who everybody's saying might be the best team in the history of hockey. Okay, this team might be the ones. Minnesota was able to obviously get a win in the series against them, but they would have come through completely unscathed through the playoffs, and they're taking on a team that's been here before. The Vegas Golden Knights. Fresh off a news break, D-Bud.
Yeah, we did have some news breaks this morning from Pat. And I want you to see the news break. Obviously, you were aware of it. I want your reaction because you've been a member of the media for a long time. Obviously, you were a player for a long time. What's your thoughts on this? I'm not as familiar with the NHL draft, but a second-round pick, I'm sure some pretty great players have come in. What's your thoughts on this?
Oh, it's a massive fine. Listen, a second-round pick. Forget the $100,000. You'll pay that, but the second-round pick, you don't know what that could be. So that's a valuable pick, especially with everything in the game now, the cap, and how difficult it is to get young, good prospects. The top pick in the first or second round is a huge loss. So I'm not sure what happened, guys, with this and where this was kind of confused or misled or what happened. But that's a big pick to lose. It is. That one hurts.
Well, PK, I'll keep you updated on all the NHL news as I become an insider in this particular league that we all love so much. You've done a great job all playoffs. Good luck to you and the Canadiens, and maybe we'll see you soon. You're the best.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Pat.
Ladies and gentlemen,
see you, boys.
Yeah, PK.
All right, hour one wraps up. Incredible hockey, incredible basketball. What will hour two see?
Oh.
College gambling?
What?
No.
A judge on the take?
Oh,
No, maybe.
What?
See you on the other side.
Well, hello, beautiful Pittsburgh. The NFL Draft Experience, where we're about to see one of these 8 NFL fans attempt a $250,000 field goal. What we did was we took all of your names and we put it into a randomizer, okay? Now, 8 is a random number, but I would like you to see your names all across the wheel. Camera to legitimize it. I will press this, and one of you will be randomly selected. $125,000 to charity and $125,000 to your pocket. Now, it's not just me doing this. Roger Goodell said he will split it. So this will actually be a $500,000 kick. $250,000 to you. $250,000 to charity. Now we wait. Stopped on. Greg. From Pittsburgh. What is the strategy here for you, Greg?
Nothing. I'm going to take Boswell. It's just Boswell. I've been watching him for 22 years. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you do. Just embody Chris Boswell. Hold on one second. All right, just kick the ball. Go on, Greg. This guy sucks. Holy shit. You're back in the game because he was so ass. We are back in it. Please, you can all see it. It's legit. Sophie! New England Patriots fan. Short run up. Good effort, Sophia. I appreciate the effort. I hope you have so much fun in the city. Enzo, you can't hold again. You can't hold again. What if we did one of you represents all of you? $100,000 to each of you if the person makes it, and then a match to charity from me and Roger Goodell. Now, you people who are representing all different teams, fan bases, have to decide who will be representing for you. I'll see you in 30 seconds. They're gonna start fighting each other. They got no chance in it. Now we got a Rams fan who might be the silent assassin coming out of the group. The team has spoken. If you could remind the entire world of your name and if you played soccer before in your life.
Sam Bailey. No, I didn't, but I kicked in high school.
Put her through, pal! Oh, shit. Congratulations.
Thank
man.
you.
So happy for you. 600,000 to charity, 600,000, 100,000 individual in the final six.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome. On the most thrilling Tuesday, May 19, 2026, hour 2 of the sports program begins now. Sports are the greatest. Last night was a great indicator why. And if you don't watch sports, I have no idea what you do with your life. But if you're watching this, I assume that you do. And we thank you like hell for enjoying the greatest thing ever created, which is competition that rallies and unifies while providing electric moments for us all to forget about everything else going on. Are these aliens? They're talking a lot about these aliens.
They are.
Mm-hmm.
Did we watch one last night?
Yeah.
Go absolutely crazy in Oklahoma City as Wemby not only showcases in the paint, but obviously incredible range, looking like Steph Curry as he leads the San Antonio Spurs to a 1-0 series lead after going into the champion's house, the MVP's house, and stealing a Game 1 dub. What will the response be from the Thunder? The Thunder fans showed up in a big way. It felt like I was there, felt like I was having a good time. Tarico, crossover, Reggie Miller on the call. Felt like everything was perfect and stupendous. And what we saw was maybe the next 20 years of the NBA play out in front of us. A man who's 7'5" and can do it all. A man who wants the moment, lives for the moment, and walks into Oklahoma City and he says, hey, you know what? I'm about sick of the whole MVP party you're having for somebody that isn't me. Bonjour, ça va, ass, pour tout. That's French.
Yep.
He wasn't the only French person that had a great time last night.
No, he wasn't.
Montreal Canadiens, congratulations to Les Habitants.
Yeah. Les Habitants.
Les Habitants out there. They absolutely crushed it, get a win in overtime in Buffalo. And for Buffalo Sabres fans and Buffalo people in general, Buffalonians, if you will, who we have a very, very high regard for.
Yeah.
Another heartbreak.
Another heartbreak.
Just another heartbreak for their sports fans up there. Their indoor lacrosse team, really good.
Sure.
The Buffalo Rockers, you remember them?
Yeah. The Buffalo
Bandits?
Soldiers.
Buffalo Bandits.
Yeah.
They still doing it?
Soldiers.
In a Buffalo, no wins. Oh, no, we're not doing that. Oh, my God. That kind of went too easily together there. Because I think if we were to put a little time into that particular rhythm, I think we could think of something for the heartbreak that Buffalo sports fans have had to soldier through for sure. And what we would like to say to Western New York is, go on, fans.
Good job, fans.
Remember, winter just ended. Winter's about to end for you guys.
Yep.
The sun's coming in like a month or so. Come on, everything's good.
New stadium?
New stadium coming.
Beautiful.
It's going to be by. We didn't close it off, so we can't have winter things, but we'll cover a lot of it because we want to still experience Buffalo.
God.
The lake life up there is going to be great. I mean, everything's coming around the corner. The sun will be coming out in about a month or so up there, and then everything's going to be fantastic. Then we're right into football season.
That's right.
And then that's going to go good.
Joe Brady era.
That's going to go great.
Still have Josh Allen.
Yeah, we'll see.
Last night was an indicator. See, a 5 and 9's coming probably after that. Last night was an indicator that everything's about to crash. The old habits of the Buffalonian sports are about to end. It's dawning of a new day. We just had to have our heart broke one last time. Game 7, overtime, at home. One that we scratched and clawed our way back into. And then devastation as the French people that are speaking in your barn get to celebrate all over your city, their city, and punch their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals. This was the final thing that the Buffalonians had to go through. This fall, whole new era for the Buffalonians. Congratulations to you guys.
Congratulations, Buffalo.
Sal, Paccio, things are going good up there for Montreal.
Peace and peace to Sal Capaccio.
Sal Capaccio is no longer going to be the.
What?
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills kicked his ass to the curb.
See, I don't know
What?
if that was the case. Let's just say Sal Capaccio.
That can't be
That's
true.
good news.
That's
for
not
us.
true.
I know this.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
That's not true. You guys are making
Intoxicated was at Boston Connor and that time.
They're making that up.
One half of the hammer, Dahn, Cowboys.
Go to his ex. It's ridiculous, man.
All right, joining us now.
Best employee.
I don't think they're making it up.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us. It sounds like I missed something, and I don't like it. I can already tell I don't like it.
Hate it.
But I don't want to keep doing it at all. I'd like to move on from this, okay? Spaceships don't come equipped with rear view mirrors. They dip. And if we're talking about what you're talking about right there, I need to get that behind me and never talk about that again. I can't live in that world where Paisan isn't doing his thing on the drums. And
I didn't say that because he may be going on tour with like Luke Combs or something and playing the drums.
He should be.
Or the Peppers.
We don't know, or the Peppers.
They
Exactly.
took his
The
microphone
Red Hot
away,
Chili
actually.
ones?
Yeah.
I don't think so. They got a drummer, I think.
Red Hot
He was on
Chili.
Saturday Night Live.
Not as good as Sal.
All right. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, man that might have the answers, actually. College football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner, ladies and gentlemen, A.J. Hawk.
Yeah.
What the fuck's going on? Have you heard?
I mean, the only way Sal's not in Buffalo is he had to get recruited away from some giant national show. I would assume, right? That's the only way he's gone.
I don't know. To be honest, this is all kind of being thrown on me pretty quickly here in the last.
He's doing Wheel of Fortune. Is he taking over for
Maybe.
Seacrest?
It was
saw
a
him
long
on Wheel
post.
of Fortune.
I'm pretty sure Bino told him to get the hell out of town.
That didn't
but
happen.
again, I'm not sure if that's exactly what happened.
Okay, we love Sal. We love Buffalonians. It's a hard time right now. We're kind of piling on, which you didn't want to do earlier.
No.
You talked about not wanting to pile on. But, yeah, I mean, maybe there was a national gig that opened up for Sal. I hope that's the case, but we do know he loves Buffalo. Congrats to Montreal. Let's talk a little college football news, shall we? Interesting development in the Brendan Sorsby case. Okay, as you know, Sorsby has entered himself into a rehab down wherever. I don't know where it is. We assume somewhere in the South, but we're not 100% sure, because of a gambling addiction that was reported. And then the NCAA found out about Texas Tech did Texas Tech know whenever they signed him through the transfer portal, as he was the number one quarterback basically in the transfer portal, and Texas Tech has great investment behind all of its sports, including its football, and they pay this money. How much? It all kind of got thrown on us quick. There's been an update in the case. I guess there is a deadline that has been placed, June 22nd or something like that, for the supplemental draft, so there is a deadline. And Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby has filed for an injunction against the NCAA, seeking his college's eligibility. It cites a wholesale abandonment of its obligations and duties to promote the well-being of Sorsby. Now, there was a lot of other information that was coming out about the local judge that would be handling this particular case. Something just happened down in Ole Miss with Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah, they had to do
There's a
that
lot
a
of
few
this
times.
too. In Mississippi, it kind of happened, right?
Yep.
This feels like what the NCAA is most scared about. The NCAA, anytime you listen to them talk, basically says we can't do anything because we'll just get sued. Everything we do, we get sued. So we need government to give us power to be able to make rulings so that we have some sort of say, because everything we do, we just basically get sued. Seemingly how Charlie Baker was phrasing it when he was talking to us, when we were asking him about other issues as opposed to these particular issues that are currently happening. That is kind of what's taking place. And this is happening in a courtroom in Lubbock, Texas, right? Because that's where he is?
Yep.
Okay, so now obviously everything gets called into question, which is certainly going to be the conversation. But this does seem like a pretty big precedental move here for the NCAA and for football, because it feels like, and this might just be, narrative building here by sides, which will certainly happen publicly. I think they're trying to showcase what is possible whenever a guy's hobby is gambling. Okay, like this was this guy's like actual hobby. He was betting on like Turkish soccer at like 9 a.m., like $5 on it. Like it felt like this became an actual addiction, like a thing that he was just doing on a regular basis. And now they're trying to figure out or determine publicly, like, should this guy's football career be ruined because he was doing all this? And they're like, well, he did bet on Indiana when he was on the team. And they're like, well, he's come out and said that it made him feel more part of the team because he wasn't doing shit for the team.
They weren't good then.
Yeah, so that was like his angle coming out. So now it's like an interesting thing about empathy for the situation while still having rules that are from a different time. While we certainly are going to have a lot more of these types of situations in the future, so we're setting precedent. This is a wild case. We'll have Thamel joining us in about 30 minutes or so, but it's a wild case.
It's a wild situation because when you break it down and think about it, you cannot set the precedent where it's okay, where you don't miss time for betting on your own team, even if it's for them to win, even if you weren't playing or whatever. You can't be betting on your own sport. I think everyone agrees with that, just because of how big betting is now and how big athletics are now. You just the same sport thing, same team thing. You just can't have it. But then when you get in trouble for it, you file an injunction against the NCAA in the hometown of where the college plays, and then you get a hometown judge.
Whoa.
Tony, don't you dare.
I was stating facts. I didn't say that the hometown judge was a Texas Tech fan or anything like that. I did not say any of that.
When they put on the robe,
yeah,
I learned this from Judge Judy.
Yeah.
When you put on the robe, you don't think about what football teams
I
you play.
agree.
You think about the core of law that you were.
Not a human anymore.
No, you put the robe on, get that gavel, and all of a sudden, guess who you are? Representative of precedent that's about to take
As you
place.
should.
So there ain't going to be any. It seems like you were
I was just stating facts of what the situation is in this case and have been in others.
We were just about to show maybe a picture here. We should not do that until we let Pete Thamel lead us to that photo. Okay, we will not do that.
Is it the judge?
You don't know.
We don't know. We don't know anything. The internet's doing a lot of research happening right now on who's doing what around here. And all of a sudden, I got a little bit of a change of tune. I think Sorsby's going to be good for this Texas Tech team this year.
Yeah,
Okay. I think this is going to be a good story. I think it's going to be a good story for others to learn from. Like, hey.
Wow. That's quite the turn.
If you've been reading unless Pete comes in and tells me something vastly different, I think, a lot of people think like maybe we're a shallow bunch. The people that don't really listen to us, they might think we're a shallow bunch.
Sure.
I don't think that's the case. I think we just judge things differently. I like to read the humans in the situation before anything else. Like when Wemby last night, the human, hey, that guy's got to watch SGA. That's what I'm worried about. I ain't worried about double teaming SGA as soon as he gets across half court. I love that information from Chris Paul. The way I'm viewing it is how humans are going to act, probably. Just from I think, sociology minor. And how this whole thing kind of works and how humans operate, and I think that matters so much more than we give credit to.
Oh yeah.
So like immediately upon what I'm reading about this situation down here, I think humans are going to act like humans here, and I think Sorsby's going to throw, I don't know, maybe 40 touchdowns.
Maybe.
Wow. Good chance.
Now, unless Pete Thamel comes in and tells me a little different information than what I've been reading on the internet, it feels like, hey, he's going to be down there.
Does the sheer amount of bets that he placed, does that that comes into account, right, when they're making this decision? Like, hey, this guy, obviously, when they go back, they find out, I don't know how many thousands of bets he was making, right? Like, does it matter? Does that have anything to do with it?
Well, I think that is why him checking himself in, I believe, to the, hey, I got to break this from me is a big deal, which is probably what they're saying. Are you looking out for the well-being of the player? Like, I reported myself basically for having this issue, and then a big thing happened. Sure. So that's certainly an angle.
Yeah, this is a first, right? This is the first we're seeing of something like this.
The thought of this happening, is this happening in Texas Tech Stadium, like the court case?
Could be.
Might be.
Is it happening?
And the stadium's going to be full capacity.
That's why is Patrick Mahomes on the stand?
The judge requested that he shows up in his pads and uniform and not like a suit. So
Mahomes is going to be a character witness.
Because this would be precedent setting. And then let's say they rule for Sorsby. The NCAA appeals that to the Supreme Court. Now the Supreme Court will be here in this case. Is that kind of how the whole process would go? I don't know. Anytime courts get involved, it feels like we got a 4 or 5 year process. But then Schefter was reporting, because at the beginning of the reporting of this situation for the supplemental draft, there was a deadline. They're like, end of June needs to happen. Then it came out, the NFL was like, nah, actually, we can kind of make it work. We don't want to kind of put a deadline on anything. Then Schefter yesterday comes back and is like, hey, June 22nd actually is the deadline for the supplemental draft if they were to do it. And it's like Sorsby would be very, very highly sought after in the supplemental draft streets. Now, there has been precedent by the NFL to follow NCAA punishments for things that have happened in college versus what going to the NFL. I just, there's a lot on the line here. There's a lot on the line, and allegedly we got an answer by June 22nd. That sounds completely abnormal. Court system, NCAA, precedential thing, and then we're going to have an answer in 30 days?
Apparently.
Okay. I don't know, con man.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I'm excited to see how it all plays out.
And I also don't know if the 10,000 bets hurts or helps him, because like 10,000 makes it seem like, okay, this is a genuine problem. This isn't, 100 massive bets like we've seen in the past.
Sure.
I believe Calvin Ridley, when he got in trouble, he placed like 2 or 3 huge bets, and they were parlays, but clearly that wasn't like a gambling problem. It was more so like that was where across the line he is clearly betting on games where he might have information. And he served his year and he's back, and it's great. But with Sorsby, it does feel a little different, where it was him on a bad team losing bets on a bad team and then also placing, like you mentioned, Turkish soccer 10,000 plus. Like that is a problem. I know Kayshon Boutte, who's a star for the Patriots now, he had a problem in college, and he opened up about it in a Players Tribune article, and it sounded very similar to Sorsby. So, like, you think about that situation, Boutte, who, lost a lot of, potential money, potential, draft stock in his situation at LSU, didn't ruin his entire life. He earned his way back, and now, he's eligible to hopefully get a big deal in the NFL. And is that situation more similar to this? That's how it feels, at least from the outside.
Yeah, just as the tide has turned over the last couple of days, it feels like as the appeal and dates have been placed in there, we will certainly continue to follow along. Pete Thamel will be joining us in about 15 minutes with more on story. Let's go back to the NBA. Obviously, gigantic night last night. 2 Goliaths battle in the Western Conference. The hype lived up to the game. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now, NBA champion, friend of the program, Iman Shumpert.
Yay, Iman!
Whoa!
What's up, my guys?
Whoa, where are you? Where are you at?
It's ESPN, baby. You know what I'm saying? I got to give you a little shout out. ESPN, baby.
I appreciate you putting that in there behind you for us. Thank you for doing that. You're the man, Iman. Okay, last night we started the show by saying if Adam Silver was to create a Western Conference Game 1 in a lab, it would be last night. Just what's your takeaway, and what is the conversation about the state of basketball with these two teams in the West, just strictly, but Wemby for the next 10 years of this? Is this where we're looking at? What a special night for hoops it felt like, Iman.
Yeah, again, this is the matchup that we were all promised as basketball fans. The teams don't seem to like each other. There's chips on shoulders. I don't think Wemby liked seeing SGA hoist up his second MVP trophy. I don't think Wemby took well to them putting Caruso on him toward the end of the game to be an answer. Everything about this matchup, Stephon Castle getting the dunk and staring SGA down, everything about it entices the NBA to, one, play harder. But for that 48 minutes that we all talk about, we want them to hate each other. They gave us that. You know what I'm saying? And as basketball fans, I think we're all sitting here with a smile. OKC just now has to, they're going to have to go into they're going to have to take care of home court next game, but they're definitely going to have to go into San Antonio and steal one. So we're going to see what they made of.
Perkins said something hilarious last night about sending his kids to them monks. Okay, him and his wife were talking about sending his kids to them monks because he would like to know whatever the hell they said to Wemby. But he just seems like a different creature out there, AJ. Go ahead, pal.
Yeah, he does. And Shump, I'm wondering, what is this OKC team going to do, I guess, defensively, you think, in Game 2? Are they going to switch it up? Are we going to see Chet on Wemby? Like, what are they going to do?
Oh, we better. We better see Chet guard Wemby. I'm not sure why Chet wasn't guarding Wemby. I'm not sure why when the overtimes came, Chet didn't look at his coach and say, hey, man, I love you to death. I get the game plan. That's my matchup. At some point, you got to take the challenge because you saw in Wemby's eyes what he was going to do to the game. He was going to impose his will on the game. He was going to make it almost personal at the end. And to see that and see Chet keep having to come off the weak side, I thought he put himself at a disadvantage.
He had like 7 of the 10 points in I forget what. There was something
OT.
He just absolutely took over. There was a time late in that game where I thought +6.5 we weren't going to cover. Okay, there was a little bit of a
normally where dogs go to Dahn.
It was I was very scared as we were going there, and then it turns out 7-point win for San Antonio. It's like every narrative that could potentially happen, or every collapse that could have taken place, or Wemby played good, but in the end, the championship pedigree of Oklahoma City won out at the end. Like, who's going to make shots down the stretch? It's like this Spurs team answered every single time. It was spectacular. And their average age, I guess, 22 and a half. They're like the youngest in a long time. Your thoughts on that, Iman? Is that just an old soul crew down there because they've been through so much? Do you think the age thing does matter whenever you get to a certain point?
You know, I did think that there was a time in this game that I was going to have to say, wow, this is the part where experience takes over. It was the time at the end when they had to tie the bucket, and SGA brought the ball to the left side of the floor off of an Iverson-like cut, and then left Wemby in the corner to have to make the decision on would it be a three or a layup that they would take. Wemby stayed in the corner, and I felt that they had figured out some sort of tilt to keep Wemby at bay, to say you have to make a decision. You are no longer allowed to play defense and roam. He likes to play rover a lot of times, where he's not really guarding anybody. He's guarding everybody. Anybody that comes in his vicinity and anybody that's left open, he does a late contest on, with it being a high contest. I thought OKC finally pinpointed it and left him in the corner, and to see the Spurs take the challenge and just pressure defensively, get stops, get rebounds at the end, because a lot of those rebounds just got loose. It was a lot of 50-50 balls. They got all of those. I can't really point the finger at their age anymore. I think these are just ballers. These are guys that want to take the challenge, and they're guys that really don't care that they have the MVP over there. I can't stress that enough, that when I look at Castle, I look at why can't I think of my other word? Dylan Harper. Dylan Harper going out there. I just don't see guys that, I don't want to say they're disrespecting them, but they don't respect it enough to lay down. They're saying, you're going to have to come beat us. We have the advantage over here. And anytime you believe that, again, to win, it takes a little bit of delusion. They have it.
Yeah, and it felt like through the season they had it as well. You know, it was like the New England Patriots having to go up to Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. You lost the game before you even got there. The coaches did, players did, somebody did. And for this team, Spurs team, it feels like they're pissed off that people view Oklahoma City like that, as opposed to them. I love it, man.
Yeah.
And
I love too. We don't talk enough about just the Spurs organization in general. The Spurs have been a great organization for a really long time. You saying the Patriots really made me think of that and hone in on it. Having Pop around that culture, I know their coach is a winning coach, but to have somebody like Pop, a real pillar in this basketball world, to be able to lend advice, to be able to give guys encouragement and move the needle along while the playoffs are going, to have them prepared for these type of moments and these type of situations. You are seeing counter punches being thrown by, they seem like veteran guards. It seems like Wemby is a veteran. But I think a lot of it is the coaching, the poise, the winning culture that's around, having Tim Duncan to lean on, having David Robinson around to lean on. Being able to have those conversations calls for a winning mentality.
Coach Mitch Johnson leading the squad down there, and obviously Dag over there in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
It has been, it was high-level basketball. It was fun to watch. That felt like Game 7 of the finals.
Oh, yeah.
Right there at the Western Conference. And obviously, they were playing without a guy that we know. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Shump, no De'Aaron Fox. So that kind of almost helped them, because it gives all these other guys, the young dudes that we're talking about, more confidence, more time to kind of get settled in the conference finals. What is your read on that? And do you think adding De'Aaron Fox will be kind of simple? Offense can do exactly what they just did, or do you think that will change things up a bit, just because the depth of OKC is incredible, and that does seem to be a huge advantage for them, especially if each one of these games is going to go to double, triple, who knows, quadruple overtime?
Well, if I'm OKC and I know that we just lost without them having De'Aaron Fox, I'm scared to death. I don't think that it was one of those things where you say maybe it worked out in our favor. If you're the Spurs, saying it worked out in our favor that De'Aaron didn't play. It's like, no, they have been a three-headed monster this whole time. Sometimes it's two of them that get off. Sometimes all of them get off. Sometimes it's one of them that comes up big. It doesn't really matter. They rotate. They all play different speeds, and they all do different things. I think that yeah, you had Dylan Harper in more of a rhythm, but De'Aaron Fox coming back does not change things. It just forces now Dylan Harper to attack your second group, which is supposed to be OKC's better group. But if Dylan Harper now comes off the bench to attack that group, it's like, when do you get a break and a little bit of time off to get your breath together, to get your bearings together to actually deal with Wemby?
I'll tell you what, I'm excited to deal with Wemby for the next.
A hell of a ball club they put together.
They got Harper.
They changed the rules because of this ball club. I think.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not doing this stacked ones up again. We're not doing it. Look what they got down in San Antonio, and they'll be able to pay him more because they're all from there, right?
Yeah. Oh, and like the Duncan old school thing, like they all stayed together when like Manu, Tony, and him probably could have split up. So if there's any place where all those guys will stay and take less money, it's the Spurs.
And it feels like Wemby clear star, but he's super humble.
Yeah.
So everybody else around him is not going to grow to resent him, which could potentially happen in some.
Saw that clip?
This picture?
The whole sideline kind of
posing.
Yeah,
the boys gassing him up. Hey, we're on the Wemby jet, brother.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and go.
That's always nice, dog. It's always nice to see teammates stamp it like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, though. Like, we talked about it as just outsiders, non-hoopers. When Wemby got to San Antonio, this is awesome. This is gas the boy up, man.
Oh my God.
Gas up the jet.
Kelly Olynyk pointing at him.
Yeah, so Tom McMahon was a special teams coach for me at the Indianapolis Colts. He went on to the Raiders. I don't think he's there anymore. He's at the Broncos, whatever the case. Growing up, he grew up on a horse farm, okay? And he had an entire mentality that shaped from his horse farm. He said, basically, my only job as a kid was to feed the stud, okay? Just make sure this guy, okay, the one that we need here is happy. So his entire narrative is, if we have a stud returner, let's do everything we can to make this guy good. Vinatieri, hey, let's just feed the stud here. Let's just get this out of the way. San Antonio has gotten to the point where it's like, hey, let's feed the stud here. Let's let Wemby kind of be the guy. Because when he first got there, kind of OG's around. He's going to have to prove that he can make it in the NBA. It's crazy when an organization just decides, like, hey, we're going to go, and what that can do for a guy. Like what that can do for Wemby as he knows that this is my team. We go as I go, and the boys are all in. That's huge for the vibes. Huge for the vibes.
And when those guys can feed the stud, and then you still have every other starter scoring in double figures, and you have a couple guys scoring 20, like, yeah, you're going to be tough to beat if you can continue that.
Yeah, that's a bunker mentality, it seems like they got, with Alien leading the entire way. Okay, let's go to the other series, obviously, in the East that's going to be tipping off this evening. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Yeah, it seems like the Knicks kind of have a bunker mentality, too, they've tapped into. I want to know kind of what has clicked, in your opinion, for them, because over the playoffs so far, 8-2, like over a 19-point winning margin when they run away with wins. So what has clicked with that squad?
Well, I think that the game plan is now ruined for the whole NBA that they once had on the Knicks. We once had this narrative and this game plan to say, hey, we're just going to pressure Jalen Brunson. We're going to make it really difficult for him. He'll wear himself out. And at the end of the game, if we don't give him an available pass, he'll just dribble, and they'll have to live with the results. You no longer can do that because now they're giving the ball to Cat, and then it becomes playmaking action. What it does is it creates less dribbles for Jalen Brunson, but you start to see Jalen Brunson is actually really good with cutting off of the ball, especially when he's aggressive with his cuts because he now knows he has a willing passer in Karl Anthony Towns. I think their three-point shooting goes up because you now have to sink in. If Cat gives you a quick shot fake, you now have to sink in when he makes a drive and he's spraying out. You got a bunch of closeouts. Guys are attacking closeout. It makes the game totally different for them. So I think that's the biggest thing that's happened. Cat becoming a playmaker now ruins your whole scouting report. So if people have a new tilt that they can do against Cat up there at the top of the key and on the sideline running that pistol action, if they have an answer for that, then we'll start to see new adjustments. But that once game plan that used to ruin the Knicks' hopes every time, it's out the window.
Well, and also it feels like they're playing more players. Having the rest at this stage is obviously good for the New York Knicks. I mean, what? It was like a year ago I saw Jalen Brunson over there in New York at the Upfronts.
Yeah.
They still haven't played a game since then.
No.
Yeah.
When was that? That was a long time ago.
Long time.
But their big thing against the Pacers is we ran their asses off the court. Like, basically, we just ran them off the court. It wasn't a deep enough roster. I think the bodies...
And now they're healthy.
OG's back.
They're healthy.
And they're rested. Back. I mean, that's a good place to be. If you get a bye week, basically, going into the conference finals, that had to be dream come true for you Knicks fans, Bruce.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. It's like night and day compared to especially 2024 where Randall was out, and once OG and his hammy went down, it was like, man, we we actually only have 5 guys to play this Game 7 against the Pacers at home. So, yeah, it's a dream scenario. Obviously, everything could get flipped on its head if you come out slow in Game 1 and let the Cavs steal one here. But I'm so excited for the matchups across the board. Spida versus Brunson Burner, of course. But then on the inside, too, Mobley and Jared Allen dealing with Mitch and Cat is going to be an absolute banger. And then we'll see who ends up on James Harden between Bridges, OG, and Josh Hart. But I'm so fired up for the series to get started.
To wrap up this conversation, last question for you, Imam, from Ty.
Yeah, Shump, I mean, you mentioned the rest, and obviously that's important, but, like, is there any worry that the Knicks might be a little bit rusty? I mean, we just saw, the Cavs kind of have that really physical 7-game series with the Pistons. Is there any way that the Knicks could replicate, that type of physicality in practice? Like, is there any concern there that the Knicks may just be a little bit too rusty and the Cavs are coming in, after a hard-fought 7-game series win, and they might have enough firepower to kind of just stay hot and go right from jump?
I don't think there's any way to mimic fully what you have to deal with when you're dealing with Spider Mitchell scoring in the array of ways that he scores. He's got a full palette as far as what you want to see out of a scorer. But what I do know is that the rhythm of Donovan Mitchell and James Harden might be something to consider. If they are going to steal a game, I think it's going to have to be a Game 1 against the Knicks, which is going to be tough in itself, just having to play in New York and deal with the energy of New York right now, because I'm telling you now, I'm here, it's warm outside, and Knicks fans are going nuts. But coming with that rhythm and knowing that they're coming with that rhythm and trying to jump on the Knicks early may be the biggest game plan that they can go with if they're the Cavs, because it's already hard to steal one on the road. But when a team's been sitting for that long, you try and catch them sleeping. You catch them if they're being sluggish or if they just overly excited and just come out with a little too much energy. And you guys are already settled into a rhythm together and playing with one another and understanding where you can manufacture points and manufacture offense. I think they could control pace a little bit more if they're conscious of it. But Game 1 is the circled game for the Cavs. If they're going to steal one, it's going to have to be now, because once the Knicks get rolling, we've seen what they could do.
Did you say an array of ways? That's a good bar. Yeah, an array.
Yeah, I mean, Donovan, he got the little takeover, bring it over the top. He gonna shoot it from the outside. He want to get downhill. He got the floater game. It's hard to simulate all of that in practice. I just would hope that, when the Knicks do come out, they understand, though he's going to do his scoring, the key to guarding and dealing with the Cavs is dealing with James Harden.
A cluster of buckets from that guy.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Dang, crazy.
Yeah, it is. It is absurd to see what he did. I mean, he hit 6 moves on there and then hit a step back 3. And old buddy fell. It's like, good luck. I can't wait. And then James Harden, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's starting to come back.
We'll see.
It's starting to come back. When you're seeing James Harden do that, and I like to see him, he's one of those guys that is similar to Joel Embiid. When James Harden is animated, when he's the guy that you can see it in his eyes and he's engaged, he's looking around at his teammates, he's making them smile, he's making them feel their confidence roll. He's a different player. I think that when you can catch James Harden with the big eyes and he's not as responsive to emotions or big moments in the game, not as many celebrations or slow-mo walk-off, so to speak, home run walk-off, so to speak. When he's not doing that, I don't see him as locked in as he once was. I love it when I see James play with emotion, the three-point celebrations. It instills confidence in his team that he has control.
What does this mean, AJ? What's he doing when he does this? What does this
I don't know. What do you think he's doing?
Somebody said stir fry or something.
I think it was stink fry in Game 7. He was so bad. But yeah, maybe.
Wesley, don't stop talking about this. Maybe. Hey, you're the man. We appreciate you, champ.
Man, I appreciate y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, Iman Shumpert.
Yeah, Iman.
I don't know what this means. What's everybody doing? Does anybody know?
They're going to go as
cooking, right?
far as Spider takes.
He has an array of ways to get to the hoop.
I know AJ's probably seen him play in person a few times. I remember Hulkster got arrested, so when I asked him about him here.
Smooth as butter, dude.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
Yep.
You're right.
He did like the way he played.
He did.
He was wearing KD shoes.
He was.
Sports side.
What was your question? Man, I see you wearing Kevin Durant shoes. I didn't know you were a big NBA fan. What a great question. Rest in peace,
Yeah,
Holster.
rest in peace, Holster.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who might have a little bit more inside information on anything, including potentially.
Yeah, Holster.
What are you doing? Foxy, please show us.
Saw him sitting there. I was like, rest in peace, dude.
Yeah,
I'm gonna wear this for the rest of the show.
Joining us now, I think you're going to have to maybe embody somebody else pretty soon. Joining us is the authority of college sports as a whole, certainly of college football, from College Game Day. Ladies and gentlemen, from what appears to be a very nice place, good for him. He's earned it. He has no idea he's there. All he is on his phone the entire time. Ladies and gentlemen, Pete Thamel.
Wow. Whoa.
The Big Ten, Pat, did not hold their annual meetings at the Des Moines Airport Marriott. I can confirm.
Nice, though.
Okay, that is unbelievable. So you're at the Big Ten annual league meeting right now, is that right? And what's happening
Correct.
there? I saw you guys are voting on a punt gimmick. Is that what I saw?
Yeah, so you could really nerd out on this, Pat, because I know your affinity for the nuances of special teams, and I've learned a ton about special teams from you. There is a new punt rule. I actually had a coach explain to me at the bar using like cups for everything, but it's basically an eligibility tackle guard away from the long snapper rule, and you're calling it up there. And in order to officiate the way this rule, which has been passed next year, like you would have to declare who your tackle guards that go adjacent to the snapper are, and then you'd have to change their numbers. And actually, guys would have zip-up jerseys.
Oh, my God.
So, you stand outside. I've covered a lot of league meetings in my life. You stand outside league meetings. Hey, coaches walk out. Hey, what happened? What happened? Every coach was like, we spent 45 minutes on the punt rule. And they were 18-0, and they hate this new punt rule. So, being a diligent journalist, I went to the punting Dow, who's Kirk Ferentz, and asked him about it yesterday. And Kirk Ferentz said it would be a clown show, and that is not a man who is prone to hyperbole. So there's a movement here to change this obscure, detailed, and I don't fully understand it, punt rule, but there's conviction of that. So if you want a peak spring meetings topic, it's an obscure punt rule that's in the crosshairs right now.
Okay,
so
well,
stay tuned. We'll see how
you.
they talk about it in the SEC meetings next week.
Yeah, well, I'll be excited to see what Sankey's thoughts are on having a zipper up new numbers. So I think there is an interesting thing that has happened. Obviously, the punt formation in college, most places, like 90% of the places, vastly different than the NFL. Obviously, the rules between the NFL punt and the college punt are different. In the NFL, only 2 people are allowed to leave the line of scrimmage before ball is punted. Okay, so everybody else has to pass set backwards. Okay, because there are only 2. The outside people are the only 2 people that are allowed to leave the line of scrimmage to go cover before the ball gets punted. Normally about a 2.0 operation time from set. So that's a 2-second delay. Only the gunners are able to go. In college, everybody's allowed to go. Okay, so everybody's allowed to leave the line of scrimmage as soon as the ball is snapped. It's a wide open play. Go ahead and do that. So the roll rugby type, Aussie rules football type punt happens because I already got people down the field. You roll to the right, you kill more time, get the ball on the ground, you just steal it. Now, some teams have been putting in their offense, leaving their offensive lineman on the field, sending in obscure punter number in there, doing the formation and kind of a little trick them. Boom, we're not punting at all. We're doing this kind of in a disguise punting formation where there are some rules differences as opposed to a tight formation. So it sounds like there was maybe somebody somewhere that didn't like the gimmickiness of potentially what was coming and said, we got to change this, especially with the rule numbers. We need to let people know. But it sounds like the coaches aren't those people. So who the hell would that be then? How does this happen? If the coaches are 100% against it, how does the rule get anywhere near past? Who's doing the ruling?
So I was told last night that this rule change was basically bred from lazy officials who didn't like having to officiate the line of scrimmage and how guys are lined up.
Tough shit.
The seeds of a good rule change should not come from officials having a cumbersome process, like,
It's not Vanderbilt.
There was a lot of
No, of course it's not Vanderbilt. We know that's not Vanderbilt. Our guy, he's Big 12 official. They need to have him in the NFL.
Yeah.
It sounds like they need to have him talking to the Big Ten refs. Okay, let's move away from the punting logistical stuff that you're doing from paradise there with the Big Ten. Let's talk about a precedental case, I think. There's been others in the past, though. But this one feels like a real boiling point, potentially, for the state of sports gambling as a society, players on the field, and addiction that could potentially be helped, while also integrity of the game, all kind of coming into one storyline with a future first-round quarterback that was considered the number one quarterback in the transfer portal this year, got paid a lot of money. Okay, so this is a huge ordeal. We have some developments, Pete. Could you tell us what they are? Because the way Tone was kind of describing this is like, it's going to be down here in Lubbock. They're going to hold the court case in the stadium. Cody Campbell's actually going to be a part of it. Can you please tell me a little bit about what we've learned? And now there is a deadline, I guess, again, in June 22nd. How should we expect this kind of to go? Because this is a very serious, very important thing that is kind of happening right in front of our eyes for the future of sport.
Yeah, in terms of on-field storylines, Pat, I don't think there's a bigger one than the status and eligibility of Brendan Sorsby between now and when he'd have to declare for the supplemental draft. He was the number one player in the transfer portal. He's a top 10 player in the sport. He's a potential first-round pick. He could be a potential high supplemental NFL draft pick if he does go that way. But essentially, what happened yesterday was Sorsby's legal team filed a lawsuit against the NCAA for a preliminary and then permanent injunction, which would allow him to play this year. And essentially, there was a lot of legalese in those documents yesterday. To distill this to what it is the NCAA actually hasn't declared anything about Brendan Sorsby yet. Tech has ruled him ineligible, and then he would have to go through an intricate reinstatement process. By the book, if you look at what the punishment would be for what Brendan Sorsby has admitted to do, he would not be able to play college football ever again. Like, period. So what his team is doing now is looking for clarity from the NCAA. They offered, in the legal documents, they said they offered a 2-game suspension. He would come back. He would become the face of mental health for gambling. He would be an advocate. He would go talk about this. And they essentially pitched the NCAA on allowing Brendan Sorsby to return and having him become the face of addictive sports gambling in the country, which is a very serious problem amongst young people. The NCAA has rejected that. The tenor of the NCAA statement in response to this lawsuit yesterday indicated basically like they are going to run this out. They said, look, we haven't even ruled anything yet. And, they made it very clear that the integrity of the game, as you have said many times, Pat, you and D-Butt, like it's critical, right? It's the most important thing fundamentally to athletics as we know it, the integrity of the game. So what Sorsby's legal team appears to want to be doing with this lawsuit is getting clarity. Will he be able to play? Will he not be able to play? They need to, so that's a June 15th hearing is what they asked for in Lubbock. And he would have to declare for the supplemental draft, the legal documents say, by June 22nd. Yeah, you see Adam obviously amplified that notion of it. So essentially, if you cut through the legalese, it is an attempt for clarity for decision making moving forward for Brendan Sorsby.
Okay, listen,
it would be fascinating
can you please explain about where this court case will be? This will happen in Lubbock, Texas, and the NCAA would travel down there, and Sorsby and his team, which has already pitched a resolution, would once again do that to the judge and say, hey, isn't this a fair thing? Don't we all think? And then the NCAA would be forced in that moment by the judge or themselves, as they're declaring whatever, to make a decision on whether or not that's right. That's what they're trying to do here?
So the injunction is pretty simple and clear what they want. They basically want to say that the NCAA should have no jurisdiction over ruling on Brendan Sorsby, and he would be eligible to play. Now, you are right, Pat, that this is unprecedented for a gambling case. We've seen this with Trinidad Chambliss, and we've seen it started actually in West Virginia with eligibility. Like, we have seen judges come in and declare folks ineligible. Yeah, West Virginia actually basketball started this whole trend of being able to go to court and getting extra years. The difference is those were sort of pure eligibility plays, be they medical red shirts or time in school. This case is drastically different because it is under the guise of gambling, which had been a fairly black and white issue. Think about Jamison Williams in the NFL, right? Like, he bet in the facility and he was immediately suspended. And there's been others. That one just kind of comes to mind first. And there was a case, Iowa State a few years back, where the guys who were caught gambling were punished severely. So if the NCAA were to, and we have no indication they're going to yet, but if they were to sort of negotiate something, which would be a departure from how they normally operate in their enforcement process, that would clearly be a drastic change from how they've operated in the past. I'm not saying they will or won't do it. It would just be a departure. I think I've said this on your show. For Brendan Sorsby to play college football in 2026, something seismic would have to happen. Because if he just played out his NCAA case, precedent would tell us he doesn't have much of a chance. So is an injunction that seismic? How would the NCAA, the Big 12, and others respond to that injunction? Could they do anything legally? Like in the Chambliss case, for example, in other eligibility cases, the judges have made clear, like, you cannot put any barriers to. This is I am ruling this, and this is what's going to happen. Will that happen in Lubbock, Texas? It's probably a little too early to say, but certainly there is a home game element of this. They didn't file it in state court in Dallas, right? So I mean, I do think there is some well marked cynicism there.
Do we know who the judge would be at this point? Like, the internet's posting photos of the judge. We don't want to put it up. Whoa! Is that the judge? Do we know if that's the judge?
I have not done the judge legwork. If I'm being very honest,
don't trust
I
that.
would be surprised
That is not real.
If any of the judges were.
Go ahead. What'd you say?
If any of the judges were not Texas Tech graduates, I'd be pretty surprised in Lubbock. Just like if this was in Birmingham, they'd all probably, there'd be a lot of Alabama judges. And if it was, you could just pick the state in the area. Yeah, they could. I don't know if UAB has a law school. I think they have a med school.
Actually, you're wrong.
Yes.
The doctors, yes. You need a surgery down there? Yeah, maybe.
Funny
if
enough.
we're going to law, though, pal, that's Alabama.
Just going to double check.
Kid from Plum actually graduated from Alabama. Dallas Sala. Law. He's
the pizza maker?
Yep. A baby boy.
Alabama's got a great
Pete, we
pizza
appreciate
school.
you. Good luck out there in paradise, ladies and gentlemen. It's Pete Table.
Yeah,
Something seismic would have to take place for him to be able to play. Shoresby's case is certainly a quagmire for a lot of parties.
It is.
How about him saying
Wouldn't a seismic thing be? Sorry, wouldn't it? It's kind of seismic that the judge could possibly be doing the old celebration with the mascot of the team that the player
We
is
don't
trying
know
to
if
become
that's.
eligible for.
We don't know.
I'm not saying that's real, but that would be quite seismic, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
if that was the case?
that would be seismic. I do believe that would be seismic. Let's pivot away from seismic moves in a courtroom for Brendan Shoresby, which is potentially a NFL supplemental draft guy as well. We have no idea what his future holds. What we do know is the future is very bright for a man who's about to join us. This guy's an American hero, okay? We saw him.
Yep.
Guy ate a stick.
Yeah.
Lost his teeth. Came back. Beat Canada. Gave us all a gold medal. Thank God we have this man. New Jersey's Devil, star, and also hockey legend forever, Jackie Hughes.
Yay,
Jackie. Look at those teeth, pal. Wow.
We're back.
Holy hell. Where'd you get those?
We're back, boys. At a spot in New York. We're back. We're back in action.
Did you have to make a lot of decisions on what the new mouth looks like? Did you think about potentially drawing in what it did look like maybe get a tattoo on your teeth so that we can always remember it? What a moment. Thank you for everything. Congrats on the new teeth. How's the off season going? Because obviously the Olympics was right in the middle of your season. We talked to you just a couple days after the gold medal win at the Combine, and you were coming from a game already and you were heading to another game. You never really got to settle in. Have you gotten a chance to look back on the incredible run that this year was for you, and where are you at right now in life, if you will, Jack Hughes?
Yeah, just been, obviously with how everything happened so fast. And then now it's been a great time just to, debrief it all and just hang out and enjoy my life. So after the season, it's a good time to just get away, I feel like, and debrief.
I like you're a wires guy.
Yep.
You're wearing wires.
Trying to save the brain.
Yeah.
No Bluetooth.
Yeah, he'll eat a
I
stick.
fell for that trap, boys.
Yeah.
AJ didn't fall for that trap. AJ's got the Bluetooth on.
Well, Aaron's been telling me that for years.
Jack, you're the best. How old are you again, Jack?
Just turned 25.
Okay, so the future of the league is obviously very bright. Whenever you're watching these playoffs, are you keeping up with the playoffs from your enjoyment of life right now? Yes?
Yeah, I'm keeping up pretty good. And was watching, obviously all the games in Minnesota mostly because Quinn just got knocked out. But I feel like when I'm sitting at home and the game's on, I feel bad for not watching it because, as a fan, I do love watching the game. And obviously the playoffs are the best.
Okay, so let's talk about hockey showing up in a big way. Last night, Game 7, huge. So I don't know if you know this. NBA Game 7 the night before in Detroit, Cleveland Cavaliers just beat the hell out of the Pistons for 4.
I saw it. It was like a 40-point 40-point game, right?
Yeah. This guy's can't pay attention to much, but he saw the Pistons.
He's from Michigan. He had to watch it.
Oh, ruined Game 7, though. Like, in our minds, oh, no, maybe Game 7s aren't real. You know, that's what we start thinking to ourselves. And we've been lying about what Game 7s are because of how lackluster that one was. And then all of a sudden last night in Buffalo, the Canadians show up. It goes to overtime, 2-0, 2-2, overtime, game winner. It just, whenever you're in one of these moments or you see one of these moments and you see how fast hockey is growing in the United States of America, a lot because of what the Olympics did, does it make you pumped about the state of the league right now, if you will? Because I would say a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the first thing I take from, you know, just even that whole series, but I mean, that crowd in Buffalo is incredible, right? You know, like, I think that place was off the hook. They were down, 2-0 early. And then when they got that first one, and then when Dahn scored, you know, the roof kind of popped off. So the crowds were make it so special. And then on top of that, you know, guys are giving 110% every night. And it's sick. Like, if you watch that goal, the celebration is right beside the penalty box camera. And you can hear the guys in the huddle, like, how happy they sound that won in overtime. And it's like just a bunch of boys getting after it. And they're so fired up. Their season's still going on.
Love that the lads.
You'll see it. You'll see it on the celly when they get going. You got to listen to them. It's just sick.
Do we have sound?
Wins Game 7. Alex Newhook.
Like, that's sick. They're still fired up to keep it moving, you know?
Yeah, because you can really tell in there. That's like, for our sport, whenever we watch mic'd ups, and obviously they're so heavily edited, we try to see interactions to see if the team actually likes each other. What you're saying you saw right there is like, the lads are super excited to still be playing hockey with each other. It's very obvious.
Well, it's just like, yeah, boys, we're moving on. Let's go. Like, on we go. And that's sick. Like, that their season keeps going. And obviously they're so excited. I'm sure the mic'd up in football can't be that good because, you know, they got to blur out everything pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much the same in hockey, too.
Yeah, the league kind of decides, you know, what we're going to see, what we're not going to see. For you guys, it's been pretty tight for a long time. Feels like hockey's having a massive explosion. Hey, how come away games aren't a real thing for you guys? PK came on our show because we were talking about Montreal's barn. We're talking about Buffalo's barn, and obviously Colorado's going to go crazy. In Vegas, we've been a part of that entire situation. We asked PK, we're like, hey, how do they handle going into these places and everything? Stats and PK were like, nah, these lads, they don't care about anything. They just go in there and they play hockey. And then obviously that's Montreal winning on the road and Buffalo won on the road. The stats have been saying that the road teams are having more success. Why is that? Are you guys just like serial killer mindset? Do you feed off of the energy from the other team? Why do you think that is kind of becoming the case?
I don't know. I think it's hard to say. You know, it depends on each series, each team. I mean, Montreal, you got to, you know, every road team that goes into Montreal is so juiced up because the Bell Center's a unbelievable atmosphere. So, I mean, it'll be interesting. Like, Montreal's a good example. Carolina's probably the hardest rink to play in just with the fans and the way they play. And, you know, Montreal's a good, exciting young team, and obviously their arena rocks pretty good. So that'll be a fun series. And then, I don't know, Colorado, Vegas is going to be a dogfight too.
Dude, the Caniacs are going to be so pumped to hear what you just said. Hey, they're going to be so...
Yeah, like, I really do hate to give them that, but it is a rocking spot, and, you know, they get after it in that building.
Yeah, and old buddies, friends from Manitoba are down there.
Jarvis boys
from Manitoba are going absolutely bananas in there. Go ahead, AJ.
Yeah, Jack, I'm just curious, you yourself personally, what's it been like? I guess we saw you, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 days after you win the gold medal, and it was all happening so quickly, and you go right back into your regular season. I guess, what was the rest of the season like for you playing all those games after that? And then what's it like now? Is your life different than it was, say, 6 months ago?
Yeah, I mean, that was the best thing for me, is just playing, because, you know, it was the only real time I had, you know, unconnected, you could say, where I was just solely with my thoughts and I'm working on my game and trying to, you know, perform. Every other time you're like, your phone's around or you're talking to people and you're not just, you know, having that quiet time for yourself. So, especially with how fast everything came, that was best thing for me, is just keep playing. And now, obviously, it's pretty fun in the off season. Can hang your hat on that for a little while. And just, you know, I've met so many people that are so happy and proud of us, and, you know, you get all the good stuff. So not many
Yeah, we
Yeah,
get
it's
an
good,
American
it's good.
hero. It's been good to be an American hero. Sports Center is next. We'll continue digitally. Okay, great out by you. I don't know if you saw the clock. I assume you did with your awareness because of who you are and your fucking Jack Hughes. I assume you saw that. Great work there on giving a real answer while getting out of the way here as we send it to Sports Center. Show still continues right now on YouTube, X, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus. We're just off ESPN Linear. Okay, so what you just did there, professional TV stuff.
I zoned out for you boys.
You did great. You did some professional TV shit, especially with those bright white choppers, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because we can see every word that's coming out there. You know what I mean? We can kind of see it. And I appreciate your transparent about, like, yeah, life is pretty good as an American hero, I've been coming to learn. I mean, it is a...
You said it, Pat. You said it.
All right, we got some questions for you. We appreciate you taking time out of your life. Go ahead, D-Bud.
Yeah, Jack, when do you start ramping back up, I guess, physically? Obviously, you're taking time. You talk about debriefing. I know you guys put your body, especially this season for you. When do you start ramping things back up and getting back on the skates?
Yeah, like I'm working out already just because, you know, we're pushing our body to the max all year. And then you go 2 weeks of not moving really and you get stir crazy. So we're moving, but getting skating probably middle of June, July-ish, you know. I'm a guy that when I get going, I want to be hungry, you know. I want to, like, be ready to roll. And I'm like, because then when I start, I won't stop. So I don't want to just, like, go out there to do it. I want to, you know, be fresh, and when I'm really ready to start, I'm ready to get after it.
What is getting after it? Are we going blue line to blue line, just sprints every day? Are we on ponds?
No.
What are we doing?
Is that how it works in your head? That's what you think? We're just bag skating all summer?
I do. I think you guys are getting out there. I think you're out there, and I think you're even doing like the Olympic sprinter fucking toe thing. And I think you guys are just 4:30 a.m.
explosion
around, and then you stop.
That's actually exactly what we do. Yeah. That's it.
I'll tell you, I would never be able to accomplish that feat. You and the wrestlers. You guys and the wrestlers, I'm fucking, fuck that. The wrestlers in high school just wearing garbage bags, fucking walking home. We got cars, boys. We got rides home if we want. They're doing that. And then you guys, early morning skates, just a nightmare situation. You're young, though, so you can still feel it. You know, you're still young out there, you know? You're a young lad living great life right now. A great life right now. Think about him saying, I want to get back hungry in there.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to live a little here.
There's plenty of time for that.
Okay? And when that ice comes calling, which it will, I will be 100% fucking ready for it. Obviously, a lot of great hockey happening right now. We assume you're enjoying that, especially with the family recently exiting. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Jackie, you mentioned watching Quinn, and it was unbelievable watching him for us. You know, let him know that job well done, even though they fell a little short against the Avalanche. But with the Avalanche, what is their deal? Why are they so good? Do they just have more nail guns than everybody else? Do they have the most skill? Are they just do they turn everybody into squids as soon as they step on the ice against the other team? Like, what is the situation? And should we just assume they're going to go all the way and hoist the cup?
Yeah, I mean, they obviously have a special team this year. I think Nate McKinnon is, you know, he's on another level. He's been on another level the last bunch of years. And when you have a guy carrying the mail like him, you know, it drives your team up the mountain. And on top of that, you know, Makar, Nikic, Nelson, Kadri, they're just a crazy deep team. I think they had 16 guys that scored in the second round for them off their team. So when you have 16 guys chipping in, you know, obviously everyone's doing their thing. But when you have 16 guys scoring goals, getting on the score sheet, just, you know, it shows how deep you are. And I think they just do a good job of rolling teams over. They're so fast. Obviously, they're a confident team, and, you know, they're driven by great players, but just an extremely deep roster, too.
Carrying the mail out there, these nail guns just kind of do that.
Yep. Hell yeah.
Yeah, squids don't really carry the mail much. That seems like kind of the problem. The mail gets kind of left behind like it's the old days. Your brother was doing some real shit out there. Felt like your brother was driving the game. Hey, it was fun.
That's the thing, though. Yeah, I mean, that whole division was on another level this year. I think, you know, 3 of maybe the 4 best teams in the league could have been out of that division with Dallas, Minnesota, and Colorado. So just a dogfight for them getting out of that, you know, first 2 rounds firstly, and now they got Vegas, another, you know, unreal team.
Hey, your brother's funny. He's fucking unbelievable watching him skate around. I mean, he's like...
Skating circles.
The skating's outrageous, obviously. I don't know how...
Oh, he's a complete beast. And I think he was playing like 31 minutes a night. Like he's a beast, one of the best in the league for a reason. But just as a fan, like I went to Minnesota for 2 games and I had so much fun just watching him do his thing. So he's one of the most fun guys to watch, I think, in the league.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that fucking back skating shit.
Yeah, recruiting him to Jersey.
Well said. That's how we say it too, the back skating stuff.
Thank you. I feel like I am kind of maybe becoming a nail gun in this entire fucking thing. I'm trying. Is this the one? Yeah. There it is. Go ahead and back that shit up. See, he does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. It was fun. And also immediately afterwards, we'll go, hey, one more of these.
Another one.
Hey, and when I'm done with this one,
I need another one.
we'd like another one to be replaced in here too. Okay, the boys just did something sweet. We'd like to celebrate. That's why I think we love the hockey culture so much. We appreciate the shit out of you, Jack. Keep living your life, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Pat.
No problem, man. Hey,
all right.
Your whole life super public. How's that going? Good?
Yeah, it's going okay. Yeah.
This guy.
What a nail gun.
This guy. Love it.
Gentlemen, Jack Hughes. What a fucking life. I will say it. And it's nowhere near negative. This is a positive.
Okay.
Jack Hughes was supposed to be on the show about 10 times. And can't say, hey, we got this, we got that. It's like, Jack, fucking go do that.
Mm-hmm. American hero.
Legit. Actually.
Good kid.
And then the Olympics happen, and then he's right back into the season.
Yep.
And it's like, all right, yeah, now you got to carry the torch of America every single night, so let's go ahead and do well. And then the season ends, obviously not the way that he or the New Jersey Devils had wanted it. Not that it would have mattered here with what's going on in the playoffs, it seems like. But then you finally get a chance to sit down, and somebody comes up to you like, hi, my name is whoever. Congrats on what you did there. It's like, oh, thanks, you were watching? Yeah, we were all watching.
Yeah.
Why don't you come this way, actually? We got fucking every opportunity in the world for you right here we've been waiting on. It's like, that's exactly what he should be doing. But it has been funny to kind of watch, like, new American hero and kind of, like, from outside in, very outside, like, watching it kind of happen. It's like, good for him, great for hockey if he becomes super, super face of this entire thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
New teeth, too.
Mm-hmm. Looks good. Kid looks good.
Good tan, new teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Our Team USA could use them right now.
He only plays in the big ones.
Yeah.
Well, they say these ones are the big ones because these are the ones that Sidney Crosby made the big ones. And I don't know if you know this, the Canadians are taking a whole fucking victory lap right now.
Well, he's not even the captain.
Just said he had 4 apples. That was all.
Well, that's because Macklin,
player of the game,
the prince that was promised.
Who cares?
Well,
We're talking about the
exhibition
Stanley Cup going on right now. World Championships? You mean where the losers in the playoffs go to play? Okay.
Matthew Tkachuk playing or no?
How many Bruins are in there?
I don't know. Hopefully fucking none. Hopefully they're all together practicing as one. I actually do believe Jimbo Higgins is right. Mason Lowry. There's a few. Fraser Minton.
I like that they care like this. There was some shit where they're all lined up getting fucking player of the game thing. It feels like this.
Sid being doing this after 20 years, whatever.
And his dad's there.
Crazy.
His dad's there. Why? It feels like the World Championship. If you grow up in that hockey culture, it does become something that really matters. And if not, Sid's trying to make it matter. Is this how everybody has acted from Canada with these World Championships, Gumpy?
Yeah, it's kind of well known. If you can play, you do go play. All the legends try and get there if they can.
And Sidney Crosby's just like making sure that everybody understands that this is how this goes. Hey, next generation, like we play in this if we have to, even if you're 55 years old like I am. Gumps, is that what happens?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Jesus,
that
Gumps,
was
you would know, Gumps. You rubbed this
I thought
fucking tournament in our face.
I thought you were making this statement. I just said he had 4 apples, but I digress. He didn't want to be captain. That was a false report. That was bad reporting there. And I'm glad you're an insider now because I don't think that would have happened if you reported the news.
Not under my watch.
Yeah, he gave up the captaincy because he went late, and everyone didn't know that he was going.
He loves Macklin.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he didn't want to step on any toes, but then Macklin also said, like...
No, Sid should be captain.
And the equipment manager was like, I can definitely switch.
Easy.
I can easily... if you want. And Sid said no.
I think he knows he's the next one.
This shit's dumb, okay? I would trade 100 world championships for 1 Olympic gold medal. Yeah. So that's kind of how you know it's dumb.
Listen to me, American football fan.
I know. I freaking know.
Let's talk about American football. Jacoby Brissett, not at first voluntary OTAs.
Pay that
for the
man!
Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers at first voluntary OTAs for Pittsburgh Steelers. What was stealing all the conversation? Aaron. What was nobody nationally really talking about at all? Jacoby Brissett, starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. I believe he's getting less money than maybe Carson Beck is getting as like a third-round draft pick for
Definitely
the
Gardner,
fourth round or fifth round draft pick, whatever it is. Jacoby Brissett's deal, I guess, is nowhere near what a quarterback that would be starting games in the NFL would be. And Jacoby Brissett, allegedly, I mean, I guess the absence here would be able to describe it a little bit more accurately. Allegedly looking for a little bit of a pay boost here. If you're going to
1,000%.
if you're going to want me to be a quarterback here for the Arizona Cardinals, you guys didn't really address the fact. You don't bring in a vet. Is Carson going to be your starting quarterback? Is that how you're going to do this entire thing? Or are you going to give me a little bit of money, make this a little bit fair as we guide into this new era in Arizona? We happen to have a very close source in Arizona who's a color commentator for them, who might be able to give us a little bit more color commentary on the situation with Jacoby Brissett and the Arizona Cardinals. Ladies and gentlemen, AQ Shipley. AQ, I appreciate you coming to us live from...
That's why we're here.
Your left.
There it is.
Yeah.
No.
Left. There it is.
Mike Tirico was able to figure it out, okay? It was his second time on the show. I think you'll be able to do it as well. Jacoby Brissett, okay, in this situation, looking for more money from the Arizona Cardinals as he is probably going to be the starting quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. As a person that was around this Cardinals team last year, whenever Jacoby got brought in there, obviously not a lot of wins, okay? There wasn't a lot of wins for this Arizona Cardinals team, but it felt like Jacoby was highly respected around the locker room. How are you guys viewing this right now as a city over there, and what do you think is going to inevitably happen around Jacoby Brissett, AQ?
Yeah, the draft just happened, so obviously everybody's excited about Carson Beck. But listen, he's the guy. Jacoby Brissett is the guy. The minute that he went into the game last year in place of Kyler Murray, he injected a new energy into this offense, and they started to look like an efficient offense. Early, it was just Kyler was just playing backyard football, just trying to get it to two guys. It was Marvin Harrison Jr. or Trey McBride. And the minute that he stepped in, you saw an efficient offense take over. You saw them start to move the ball. You saw Michael Wilson start to take off and become really the number one. And now you started to see all these different guys, different pieces of the puzzle. As you know, with a play, it can go to 5 different guys, 4 different guys. It's not just 2 guys. So whenever you saw him running the play action pass, back foot hit the ground, ball out on time to numerous different people, all of a sudden it was like, okay, that's what an offense is supposed to look like, and that team fell in love with Jacoby in the locker room.
He is currently set to earn $5.4 million this season with another $2 million of playing time incentives available. So if he's a starting quarterback, let's assume that's $7.4 million. Spotrac saying about $4 million off, about $4 million off there. Unbelievable treatment of Jacoby here from Spotrac, who we have massive respect for. I wanted Jacoby to win an MVP whenever he was starting for the Colts. Now, that was like 6 quarterbacks ago for us. But I think Jacoby, Parcells, I believe, is one of his mentors. Obviously comes up through Bill Belichick, Tom Brady era. I think everybody describes him as an incredible leader. Obviously, the team likes him. You're saying this guy understands what's going on in every single play. How do you think this ends up working out? You think the Cardinals end up giving him a pay boost in this new LaFleur era, or do you think they cut bait and start brand new with everything out there? They lost the schedule release, allegedly. They lost the draft. Team's ass. Everybody says that they're ass and everything. Would you want a veteran quarterback to be leading the way, or do they potentially just think about moving forward? How do you kind of see what Arizona does here?
I mean, listen, you can't sit here and win 3 games again. So if you think that Jacoby's the best option to get you to at least improve, we got to see improvement. We got to go this way. You got a new coach. You went and got a guy from the McVay Shanahan world that you're expecting that you can do more with less, right? So they obviously can't put together the full conglomerate of talent and roster that they want because of what they're paying a guy in Minnesota right now. So you have to take what you can. You got to give this guy a little bit of a pay bump. I think it speaks volumes what he did last year. Michael Wilson had 50 yards receiving in the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season. He takes over at quarterback, and all of a sudden he's a 1,000-yard receiver and a budding star.
23 touchdowns, 8 interceptions in 14 games for Jacoby Brissett last year.
He played 14 games?
Yeah.
And McBride, if you look at his numbers with Kyler, I know
What?
Three
lost
wins.
a lot of games.
I mean,
game started 12.
Yeah, but listen, here's the deal.
Played in
Whenever
14.
Kyler was in at quarterback, everything was get the ball out quick or try and play backyard and eventually maybe get it downfield. When he took over at quarterback, the ball got pushed down the field, whether it was to McBride, whether it was to Wilson, or whether it was to Marvin Harrison Jr. We were done with this quick little short game, and we were done with the
Okay. So this is the color commentator sick of what the other. Hey, listen, we won 3 games, but at least it was a fucking NFL offense.
It was
That's what
entertaining.
he's
It was
saying.
an NFL offense.
That's what he's saying right now. And he's thinking that maybe Jacoby gets another opportunity at this thing with a new coach. But on that note, D-Bud has a question
Yeah,
for you.
McBride talked about his career year, not only with touchdowns, but every game he had at least 5 catches for I don't know what streak he was on. But how does Jacoby's game fit into this new offense? Obviously, they went and got Jeremiah Love, who I think was the best player in the draft. You think Marvin Harrison, maybe he takes a step this year, but how does he look in this offense as far as fit-wise?
Yeah, I think going with Jacoby first, right? I think he fits this offense well because it's a timing offense. I think that's what West Coast offenses are. When you look at Shanahan's offense, when you look at McVay's offense, when you watch Matthew Stafford play or Brock Purdy play, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back foot hits the ground, balls out to a spot, right? It's the same thing. Matthew Stafford's looking at the sideline, thrown over the middle because he knows the timing of where it's supposed to be, right? And so when you think about that, Jacoby Brissett's not going to extend plays. He's not going to run the football. He's a pocket passer. And I think if you can get him in a timing rhythm and get the ball out like that play right there, that's exactly who he is. He's good at the play action. He's good at sitting in a pocket and letting his back foot hit the ground and letting that thing go down the middle of the field.
People are saying, I saw a tweet, had a lot of views saying, Jacoby Brissett holding the Arizona Cardinals hostage has to be the worst for Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, it's the sign of the end. Yeah.
But I don't think he's holding them hostage. I think he's saying, hey, come on. Can we have a little bit of respect here?
Come on.
I'm about to go do my thing. Hopefully he gets the opportunity, and we'll certainly call you if any other Arizona Cardinals news comes out, AQ.
Hey, let me say one more thing. We also got 3 really good backs. You got James Conner, Algier, and obviously the new guy in Jeremiah Love, right? You can just lean on those guys, make it a run-heavy offense. You got a pretty good offensive line returning, and then just let him throw it 10 to 15 times a game. That's a pretty good recipe for success.
Yeah, especially with the good running backs, you can get them sucked up. Pretty good.
Sucked up.
And
That's
Jacoby's
right.
not scared to do a high suck them up in there. And then who's right behind that? Oh, that's McBride.
That's right.
Hey, can you say let him throw 10 or 15 times? What is this, the Iowa Hawkeyes offense? That seems like...
Hey, listen, I'll take that. Let's control the football. Let's pound the rock. Let's suck them up. Suck them up. Hit them behind. That's all you got to do.
Are we going to pay that? Or you think they're going to pay 10
why
to
the
15?
fuck would they? Yeah.
That's going to be tough, I think, to sell.
You going to try out Gardner or Carson?
Nope.
Yeah.
Carson can
That's
hand the ball off
what
real
you want to
well.
do.
I think I'll take my chances with Jacoby.
Yeah. Yeah.
For how much money are you giving him? 15?
6'6". He's tall.
He's very tall. He's a great
He's
leader.
over.
Great leader.
Might win 7 instead of 3.
Oh, geez.
That'd be
Connor.
huge.
That'd
be huge.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Year one.
thank you, Shipley. Thank you, AQ.
Baby, AQ.
Wouldn't be so bad.
I mean, I started out with.
Hey,
pay that
AQ,
man.
you still there, AQ?
Of course. Yeah.
See what happened at the rookie premiere?
Oh, man.
Go ahead. Not one.
I don't know my readers on. Who are those people?
I'll tell you what they're not.
Who are they? Any Arizona Cardinals in there?
Yeah, Jeremiah Love, front left.
There he is, right there, front and left. I see him.
Yeah, but you
Not
notice
much,
anything
not
else?
much girth in there.
Yeah, you see anything else?
No lineman?
Not one.
Not a single lineman invited.
Hey, Drew Aller's in there, though. Good thing they signed Aaron Rodgers.
All right.
What do you
What,
mean?
that's your takeaway?
We are.
That's your takeaway
That felt
in that entire
unnecessary.
conversation?
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah. Yeah. You got other quarterbacks there. You got Drew Aller and Will Howard. What are we doing, Pittsburgh? Diggs, what are we doing?
What are you talking about? Mason Rudolph also there. I mean,
What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, what is your take here? You want Drew Aller to get his opportunity to shine, or are you saying
I don't know. Yeah, does he want Drew to start, or is he
Doesn't want
complimenting,
Drew
or is
there.
he talking about a practice squad
I'm
quarterback?
not sure what they're doing with the quarterback position over there. You got Mason Rudolph's been there for what, 10 years? You got Drew Aller and you got Will Howard. Why aren't we giving these guys a look? Why don't we ever give them a look?
what are you talking about?
Trying to win
Trade for Jacoby.
trying to win football
He's
games.
out on air.
It sounds like it. You don't want them to go for it right now? Did you see Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers like good old days having a laugh on practice field? Who would have thought? I think you said.
A quick release. I saw that quick release again.
Hell yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
I see what
Pittsburgh.
you're saying.
Big Mike's putting all the offensive linemen in the places that they played in college. I love that move. That feels like good news.
Troy Fatano over to the left side. Boys, we like it.
Mason McCormick to the left side. He played 3,000 snaps there in college. Why would we play him there in professional? God, I love this new coaching staff.
Oh. See?
Hey, I love that offensive line coach when we met him.
Campy.
James Campin. He was awesome.
Jari.
He had a lot.
Jari was awesome.
Campy had a lot of great vibes. It looked like he was super positive.
Yeah.
What do you think Aaron and Coach Mike McCarthy were saying there? It was definitely a look at this shit. Could you imagine us doing this right now 15 years ago?
Yeah. Well, fuck off, Jagoff. Probably said something like that. And then
You think that's what McCarthy said?
yeah.
Who the funk, Aaron?
What kind of offense do you think they're going to run? You think they're going to go back to what they ran in Green Bay? Same exact?
My house is right over there.
Really?
What do you think Jordy's
I'm
doing?
living in my parents' basement. You wouldn't believe it.
There's a chance that is the conversation. And Aaron said, why don't we just fucking call it right play? Okay, why don't we just call the right play here? Okay, and Mike goes, just have
Hey,
fucking take it easy. I am calling.
he
the
threw
right
it to
play.
Pittman 2 out of 4 passes. Take that information for what you want.
I think it was 2 out of 5, actually.
Whatever.
You tried to sauce it a little bit to make it sound even better. I do respect that and appreciate you doing that. But Pittman is a dog. We are big fans of his. The fact that he left Indianapolis, I do not love. I think that is the type of guy you'd like to have in your locker room, personally. I think him and Aaron will fall in love with each other. DK Metcalf still on that team?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single word has been mentioned about DK Metcalf.
And apparently Jeremy Bernard is just blowing the doors off of people.
You talking about Jeremy?
Yeah.
Someone tell Boo Blay,
He's
hey,
2 of the 4 balls
got some
and walked through.
receivers for your fantasy team this year.
Oh, I'm sorry, AJ.
Who's the running back?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh man.
Rico Dowdle and Jalen Ward. Heard of them?
Ever heard of him?
That's right. That's right.
Freaking took over the league.
Okay, let's see.
You ever hear of Mount Washington? How about Muth? Oh, that's a 1-2 punch you'll never see coming.
Darnell looks like he is full mountain right now.
Playing weight.
From the
315.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is obviously a problem for defenses. Okay, let's go to the other side of the ball because it seems like you wanted to be negative about the Pittsburgh Steelers trying to win right now. Isn't that what it sounded like there, Tone?
Yeah.
A little Joe DiNardo-ness coming out of here. That's just a natural hatred for the hometown.
Other side of the ball, we finally have a DC that's
Without
gonna-
football, I start to get angry. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, I understand, but we're talking about football and you're still angry. And I think, there was a
Still a long time to September, boys. Long time.
114
That's what we're
days.
trying to tell you. Yeah. 114
I was
days.
keeping up with the USGA amateur 4-ball scores this morning. That's what I'm watching.
How was it?
Yeah, who should we track?
It's tough. I mean, Drew Stoltz and Drew Kittleson. They're the guys. Drew Kittleson played in the 2008 U.S. Open. That's where we're at.
You're the best, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Shipley.
Miss that guy.
4-ball PGA qualifiers.
Yep.
What a
He
life.
said Drew Stoltz. That's old Stoltzy and Nolte from Colt Most, isn't it?
Yeah, I assume. Yeah, there had to be some sort of tie. I think they're probably
Grass League guys.
Or
Arizona guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Thunderbirds?
Nosty's on the
Seabirds.
there it is.
He's on
Thank
the
you
Sunday call now.
for saying the name. Yeah, he's
CBS.
good. I think he's good. Also,
He's critical, I like, which I kind of enjoy sometimes.
yeah, he'll say some stuff. Back to calling. Crossover and Reggie were good with Tariq.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great.
Agreed.
I think Crawford
Agreed.
was good. Bruce did not think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What?
Bruce
Well-
just gave. I
No,
mean, it's-
Reggie's great. Reggie's great. We're not doing last
That's a
year's
lie.
stuff.
That's
We're-
fake.
We're all good.
You know why?
Yeah, it's a new year.
No, he doesn't make it about himself at all. He totally lets the player shine and doesn't make it all about Reggie Miller himself.
Sounds like a Knicks fan.
Jeez, Bruce.
Wow.
I don't like 3.
I don't think that was the case at all.
They
Three
are
people
tough.
booth are tough. Mike Tirico can balance it, obviously, which is sweet. But the NBA playoffs, obviously, NHL playoffs are great. The NFL's cooking. Award season. I was just at an award
Oh yeah. That's right.
show the other day.
Yeah.
Did you hear I went to an award show the other day, AJ?
It looks pretty awesome sitting next to Blake Shelton, yeah.
And Riley Green. People were saying maybe we're
Who,
dating.
Blake?
Me and Riley Green were dating.
What people said that?
Well, a lot of people are saying, Riley's in the middle of everything he does, I guess, I'm learning from the internet, is they're trying to figure out who Riley,
Who he's got his eyes on.
who's his love interest.
A lot of eyes are on him.
Maybe it's maybe we had a great time. I'll tell you, I had a blast at that fucking thing. We had a great table. I don't know what other tables are like. We had a blast. Awards can be fun. He won music event alongside Ella Langley for a song that he wrote. Back-to-back years, they kind of win that thing. Had an absolute blast. He gets that trophy. It means something.
Mm-hmm.
That trophy means something. You put that up in the studio. You put that up maybe in the bathroom so you can see it when you got shit your pants. Yep.
Did you get eyes on that award?
I did not, but it sounded like a lot of people had eyes on it, and it was right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some bad news about awards. Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks, a true sensation, a Super Bowl champion, an absolute stud who won, the Offensive Player of the Year at the NFL Honors Award. Finally got his trophy sent to him. Obviously, it was graded, and it was spelled wrong.
Oh, no.
It's spelled wrong. A lot of people say that they've sent him the Defensive Player of the Year. We reached out to sources in the league. He's claiming ownership of this. Hey, we're the ones that type up all the things for the engraver to go ahead and make the trophy. So that's actually, we think, an O instead of a D there. And the typo was with the E as opposed to that being an F. So I believe there is a chance that this is OEFENSIV as opposed to OFFENSIV as opposed to a defensive typo there. I believe is what happened there. Certainly a typo. League is claiming ownership of it. I believe sources from the league are actually saying, and I quote...
What about the year part?
The year with no space there, it feels like that was potentially also a flub. It feels like somebody that did the typing on this just thought, yep, nailed it, send it, and didn't get any checks and balances.
Correct.
Can't have it in the biggest league on earth.
No.
And Jackson Smith-Njigba, obviously, whenever he won this award, he was not in the building. The way it was announced became its own story as well. So, JSN had a hell of a year, and all of a sudden it feels like he's going to be motivated even more by it all, D-Bud.
Yeah.
And he'll get another trophy. He should keep both of them.
Yeah.
He should keep both of them for the entire
That'd be
situation.
cool.
And I think the NFL will certainly be trying to make it right.
Yeah, you hate to see this. I don't know if we've ever seen this before from the pinnacle. You're talking about professional leagues, and this is one of the biggest awards. After the MVP, is the next one that we always look at. The quarterback has pretty much kind of dominated that award. And then you talked about the announcement. Obviously, Drewski, a comedian, tried to be funny in the moment. Most people didn't think it was funny. He wasn't there because he was preparing for the Super Bowl, but won the Super Bowl, won Offensive Player of the Year. I'm sure the NFL will get this figured out and fixed, but you hate to see JSN a little bummed out about it.
He's going to be
Just keep it
motivated.
at this point.
This guy had an incredible year, a career year, some would say, and he's coming out with a bad taste in his mouth.
And a big bag.
That's unbelievable, and a huge bag.
Yeah.
That's an unbelievable place to be if you're a Seattle Seahawks fan. It's like, okay, our guy that's different than everybody else is pissed. No fucking respect. And then, what was the defensive line? Fuck you. Isn't that what he said at the speech? What did they say at the speech? My quarterback or something.
Or the linebacker.
And then McDonald, the way he just kind of...
Ernest Jones, of course.
Yes.
Dude, this team, Sam Darnold always going to have, because he was run out of the biggest city in America and said he was terrible. It's like this team is getting fed more chips almost, AJ. And that's insane to think about.
It is, because that's the hardest thing. You always worry about, like Super Bowl hangover, all that stuff. John Schneider, the GM, he's just sitting back loving all of this stuff happening. So that's the thing. Coming back to camp after winning the Super Bowl, or coming back to OTAs and thinking, all right, what do I do? How do I get it across to these guys? We got to keep our foot on the gas. And last year didn't happen, all of that. And it's like, hey, sometimes some outside forces kind of do that for you.
Hey, they don't even know how to. They don't even care. They just type.
Yeah, they don't care enough about us out here. They forget about us out here, way up north.
I've told a lot of Seahawks fans that. I ran into a lady named Stephanie, I do believe, at the ACM Awards working in Vegas. She's a big-time Seahawks fan.
Okay.
And she mentioned, the primetime games are going to be good for the Seahawks getting seen by people. We're going to be forced to talk and see the Seattle Seahawks because of the amount of primetime games. And that's only starting for them.
Yeah.
Feels like that's only going to be starting for this particular era of the Seahawks. And Schneider, we know he's a beauty.
Yeah, absolute beauty.
Absolute
The
beauty.
man.
The man.
He really is.
Yeah.
Can't throw a football.
AJ used to always say that, and we'd be like, yeah, probably, sure, definitely. And then we got to experience.
I got to experience him a lot more than anybody else around us, but it was certainly a fantastic vibe from old Schneider.
Yeah, that's why I'm not worried about any kind of Super Bowl hangover, because I don't think John Schneider's ever been hungover in his life. I see what he can do, night in, night out, and guess what? Next morning he's up early. He's, combing over different prospects, ready to prepare for the draft. So I don't think we need to worry about any kind of Super Bowl hangover.
If you're going to hoot with the Owls,
yeah,
you got to be able to wake up and soar with the Eagles if you want to be worth the fuck in this world.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Because if you hoot with the Owls and then the Eagles take off and you're not with them, Then all of a sudden you're just hooting all day.
Mhm.
And guess what's not happening? Fucking altitude of the eagle.
Exactly.
Gotta get up there.
Gotta get up.
Yeah, he's getting the worm.
Not just the worm. I think the Eagles are getting fucking big fish. I got one thrown off the
Yeah,
side of my house.
definitely. Get them all.
true.
Yesterday, or 2 days ago, thrown off the side of my house. Sunday, I guess. How many days is that?
Again?
Sunday.
What happened?
That's not the first time, right?
Yeah, so this is the thing. I didn't know this. Live on a lake, they say. It'll be a good time. You have good views. There's also a chance that these birds, prey, which the eagles are. We got 2 to live on property there. Wow. They will find a fish somehow because they got eagle eyes.
Yep. Well said.
And they will go in there and they will snag these things. And it is just like an actual, like a grabber. And then they start flying away. Some of the fish, a little bit too big. So they'll fight. They'll fight in there and it'll slip. And that thing, it's like raining fish and just smacks off a window. It is, it's quite a little scene. Yeah, explain to Mackenzie what's happening there.
Probably not slip.
Rain? You think it's strong?
Probably got a nice edge that they like. Just right there.
Yeah, good stone.
You think that's the death blow?
Could be.
He's dropping bombs on you.
Finish it.
Oh, so you're saying that thing's moving a little bit, and Eagle's like, hey, we can do this 2 different ways. And that thing starts bouncing around, comes right around the house.
Yeah, I got.
Bang.
Oh, yeah.
Potentially. I mean, these fuckers are smart.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they are. They really are. I told you about the sitting ducks with them.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Nat Geo was happening just right behind the house. AJ, you remember that? I forget what it was. Christmas, maybe Thanksgiving, one of the holidays where everybody was there. You remember what these?
Were you shooting ducks?
I wasn't shooting. No. I wasn't shooting anything. It's a fucking residential neighborhood.
Somebody was paintballing them.
I can't be shooting these things. No, there was a group of ducks. I don't know the official name. There's a bunch of different breeds of ducks.
Was it a mallard?
No.
Mallard's green.
No, it was a black head. I believe I forget the full, but it goes underwater pretty good, these ones. And they stick around long into the cold. But the lake freezes except for little spots of water. So all these ducks just go to these one little, and I think this is where the sitting ducks thing kind of started.
Sure.
So then these eagles, just have literally sitting ducks down here. These things flew down, picked one up at a time, passed it off the ice, called in its friends, did that. Ducks get scared to death. Guess where they go? The only other hole that it was. And all of a sudden, after they're done eating the shit out of this duck, they go on up. Guess what we're doing again? Let's do a little roulette. You're going to boom, getting one.
Dummies.
Off the ice. Yep. We're watching this blood. It was
a massacre.
It was a fucking massacre. It really was. And then you think to yourself, like, these eagles are geniuses. I mean, they're probably preparing for this for weeks. Hey, we got the fucking little ice gimmick coming with these.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're good.
Let's go ahead and wait.
Good eats.
They are so smart, dude. So it was devastating if you were a Duck fan. I'm telling you, if you're a Duck fan, that was going to be a tough holiday. And it was happening right behind the house. Middle of the day, great lighting. I think it was happening literally for the house in which we were in. I'm a big fan of the Eagle. But if you hoot with the house, you got to be able to fucking wake up with them.
Exactly.
Because they got to get the ducks and the fish and throw them off the houses and everything like that. And if you're just boozing all day, you're not going to be able to do that.
Agreed. And all this talk reminded me something we saw last night.
Yep.
AJ.
Good call. Hey, did you find the queen bee? So how do we get into this? And this is awesome. Is this your new hobby, or how far into the game are we? Are we making honey for the boys? What's kind of going on here?
I mean, eventually I'd love to make honey. I've always been interested in bees and curious about it. But yeah, that guy there, Brian, he's one of my buddies. His son plays with my son, and I saw he had a beehive like 6 months ago in his yard, and I've been asking him about it. And he's really dove into it deep. So he's been helping me. That gray box right there. It's, free plug, I guess. That's an interceptor swarm box. So I put that up about a month ago. I caught a feral swarm of bees, and then I was transitioning them into an actual hive now. So yeah, now we're about to go.
Okay, do you have to deliver them a queen, or is there already a queen in the?
They make a queen. They make them.
Who makes the queen? The bees make the queen?
The bees are crazy, man. The more you learn about bees, it is nuts how these people handle it. It's wild. Yeah, they'll feed them royal jelly and extra like extended period of time to make the queen, and that queen lays eggs. And I'm pretty sure I already got a queen laying eggs in my feral swarm that I got. You can buy bees online, but I didn't want to do that. My buddy did that. And he said, no, let's catch a feral swarm. And he's caught a couple over at his property. Too.
Well, congratulations on wrangling the feral swarm of bees that you can now have on your property. I watched Jerry Seinfeld as a bee.
Yeah.
I think I learned a lot
That was
more
good.
about how they operate and everything. They are a sophisticated bunch, but it does appear if you get a queen that they all agree to, just like Canada did for all those years, they'll kind of just blindly follow, from my understanding. And there's big benefits from these bees in society. Okay, remember there was a time Nick Maraldo, who's one of the most pessimistic people on earth about everything, was giving thumbs up to bees because we needed more bees, and there was like a shortage of bees happening. So I actually appreciate
Local honey's good for allergies.
Bingo. We hope to get some Columbus honey out of the Hawk hive sometime. That'll certainly be something we look forward to. But Nick, you were big on the bees there for like an 8-month period. It was almost like an interesting little time of your life.
Need the bees, Pat. They were facing some challenges there for a little bit. They still are. So it's good to see an upstanding citizen like AJ helping them out, giving them a home here because, we can't have the plants without the bees and then the birds and then that whole thing.
Trees
Someone should have told you about that when you were
oxygen.
younger, but you need them. You need them to keep the ecosystem going.
That's right.
I hate the fucking bees. I'll be honest with you.
What?
No.
There's a fucking nuisance.
No, but they're not like Canadian geese, dude. They're fucking different for society.
Yeah, I get it, but ththey're just like always buzzing around areas where like I'm sitting and it's like I'm fucking sick of this thing. So I go out and I go to Ace and I have to buy the fucking, and that's not good for the environment. Just spraying that bee killer just
all over yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm at where we stand right now. I'm fucking done with the bees. I fucking hate them. Those ones stink, but honestly, those pale in comparison to them big fucking carpenter bees. Those dumb sons of bitches who
They do damage.
They're
They do
cars.
damage, man.
They fly into.
That's,
They're
what,
like
that's what I'm
cars.
saying. They're dumb as shit. They don't sting you, but they'll just fucking fly right into your forehead and do it 100 times. And then they'll burrow into wood and shit like that. Damn near have already taken down my swing set. Fucking structural integrity's calling into question now.
It sounds like you got a wood problem more so than a carpenter bees. It
No.
sounds like it's on your wood, pal.
No, 'cause they burrow in
They're
there.
crazy.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Yeah.
your wood's weak. You need to get a little bit stronger, but maybe get a little pop on it.
No, that would be that's not my wood. Okay, that would be fucking Gorilla Playsets wood. So yeah, I may have to take that up with them. These cocksuckers, I'm done with them. I'm done with them.
AJ, who's wearing the shorts
I am
and
too.
who isn't wearing the shorts in that picture?
We know.
I am not wearing his shorts. That's my first time even handling that, opening that swarm box up.
the
So,
shorts
no,
was
my
a
buddy
bold
with the
move.
shorts.
So you're in the.
I didn't need him.
You're in the full
Yeah,
pants gimmick.
I'm in the full gear, but yeah, I don't need it. Trust me, these guys, we found a good swarm. These guys do not want to bite at all. They are just strictly working.
Beast.
Next time I won't. Next time I'll probably just wear the head, the head deal.
Yeah, not even the gloves. You got a hard-working hive, it sounds like, over there at the Hawk House, and we'll certainly keep our eye on the honey that you will be producing for all of our allergies to continue to battle. This weekend, massive time for the sport of the future.
Oh, hell yeah.
Might be the sport of the now, especially with the highlights that are destined to be coming from the Final Four. Conman, what do we need to know about these 4 lacrosse powerhouses?
Yeah, pretty unbelievable there. You see Princeton with the 1. Standing up there is Nate Kabir. He's kind of one of the 2-ton finalists, superstar. You will definitely be seeing more of him. If they continue to win, he will definitely show up. Duke, damn near the surprise of the tournament. All 4 Blue Bloods, obviously seen Duke win natties, but you do not see them being ranked. They won at Richmond 2 weeks ago to kind of get this entire thing started. And now they've made it all the way. That is Ben Johnston, not Ben Johnson. We got 2 N's in Ben, kind of like Bennett and Johnston with a T. He's led them. I believe this is the goal against Georgetown to get them here. And then Notre Dame.
Duke lacrosse back. Good for them.
Duke lacrosse back. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Kind of a stalwart in the Final Four weekend. This is Josh Yago. So he is a transfer from the Air Force. Actually, I believe he is a pilot. I'm not sure exactly if he is a engineer or if he's actually flying the things. He's leading them. He thought his career was done. He's a grad transfer for his last year of Lax, trying to win a natty. There he is again. Boom, huge goal against UNC, I believe. And then Syracuse. Syracuse kind of back in the top. They are a kind of old firm, if you will. That is the Powell's alma mater, as we know so well. But Joey Spallina, He is their superstar, good Italian boy, I'm sure. He is also a Tuaraton finalist. So we are set up for great games this weekend. It's Saturday, Final Four, and then Monday, National Championship.
Okay, that's the men's side. Let's go to the women's side. Obviously, they're entering their Final Four as well. Stars all over the place.
Yeah, less surprises, as you can see. Northwestern Johns Hopkins 1 versus 4. Let's go back to the graphic maybe. And then 2 versus 3, North Carolina, Maryland. Thank you very much. North Carolina superstar Chloe Humphrey. She's a sophomore. She has 100 goals this season. That's not 100 goals in her career this season. I believe, Bruce, she won the Tuaraton, you said, last year as a freshman?
Yeah, she's the one. She is on pace to be the greatest women's lacrosse player, not just in college, but just in general. She's unbelievable. Tuaraton last year, 100 goals this year. They're probably the favorite to bring this thing home, but obviously on the other side we got kind of the Cinderella story with Johns Hopkins and Taylor Haas.
Yeah, we love Johns Hopkins and Taylor Haas showing us a lot of love. Johns Hopkins women's lacrosse team has shown us a lot of love. We appreciate them so much. Obviously, that fantastic last-second actual goal to send them into championship weekend here with a turnover in the bag. Oh, let's go ahead. We got 13 seconds. Let's go ahead and execute perfectly an entire counter whenever you need it. Kind of tic-tac-toeing the ball, and then Taylor Haas ends up with a goal. Actual perfection here as they move past Stony Brook. We appreciate the Johns Hopkins team.
Oh, yeah.
But whenever you think about women's lacrosse and Blue Bloods here, that's who we have, Johns Hopkins. It feels like that would be a school that I would think would have a good lacrosse team, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they almost had both. Same with North Carolina, too. Like, they almost had both teams, men and women, in the Final Four. Maryland, you could say as well.
Who's that there? J.J. Suriano? That's goalie, right?
Yeah, goalie, superstar. Definitely going to be a tall task, but again, Chloe Humphrey has 100 goals in the year. Northwestern, kind of a budding dynasty, you could argue. They are a absolute powerhouse now. Men's team, I don't know if they have actual men's team, but their girls team is unbelievable. So it would be one of those things where you wouldn't be surprised if Northwestern kind of ran the table here.
All right, we'll be watching it all. Love sports.
Oh, yeah. Great weekend for lacrosse.
Notre Dame is your favorite to win it all.
Well, good luck to all parties. Hey, we're so thankful for you. We got a beehiver amongst us.
Hell yeah.
And he will continue to bring, just kind of insights that only our show can provide for you. There was a hat that just fell off an alien head that's on top of the Larry O'Brien trophy on that table right over there. And we try to, really emphasize all the things that really bring our show together. That's why we added an Wu-Tang Clan album, obviously, right there in between the two, because that's just a nice reminder that you can be fucking great forever. And if you want to go ahead and be in this business, you're going to have to be, especially because all of you are expecting a show that's not ass, and we'll continue to try to deliver that. We can't thank you enough for allowing us to be a part of the sports universe. D-Buck, great work this week. Safe travels. Congratulations.
Appreciate you, brother. Got my daughter graduating high school.
Oh, hell yeah. Wow.
Be going on
You've done it, lad.
Oh, man, first one, it'll be big. I'm sure I will cry like a baby tomorrow morning, but proud of her, proud of Maya. She's going on to be at FAU Owls, so she won't be too far away.
Hey, she's hooting with the Owls.
She is.
Okay,
Absolutely.
but we know she'll be up with the Eagles.
She will. That's part of it.
Which we respect. Congratulations to you. All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me, team on three. Let's enjoy tonight. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.